Productions, winners of a Regional Emmy Award for live sporting event.
JRM Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of President's Athletic Conference Football, produced by JRM Video Productions.
Welcome to Robert E. Thorne Field in Grove City. As the number 18 team in the entire country in Division III football, the Grove City Wolverines host the preseason pick for the PAC Championship, W&J and the Presidents. And what a matchup we have here tonight. I'm Robert Mangino, Alex Terrett with me. We'll check in with Damon McDermott on the sideline in just a little bit. What a matchup for tonight. This could be the PAC Championship, could be determined tonight.
Exactly, Mangino. And both these teams are coming off a loss and a bye week back-to-back. And now both these teams really challenge themselves with non-conference play. And now, like you said, the start of PAC play, I'm excited to see how this matchup shakes out.
It's going to be a really ground and pound kind of a performance tonight. We know that Grove City loves to run the football, and we hear from Sirianni he wants to establish that run tonight. What are you expecting? And
right now I'm expecting to see a lot of run from both teams, especially at the beginning of the game, but then eventually moving towards the pass and see if they can get some splash plays.
Let's talk about W&J and what they need to do in order to come out of this game with a victory.
And it's all going to run through number 3, and that's Andrew Sharp. And you're going to see a healthy mix of him and Kobe DeRosa, but Sharp coming off last week's performance with 20 rushes, 119 yards, and a touchdown. He's a little bit of a bigger back, 5'10", 215 pounds. He really adds an element to the run that this program really hasn't had in a bunch of years. And so he's very strong, he's very physical, and he could be the difference maker if he can break a few long runs.
And when you look at what's happening on Grove City, who are we going to be focusing on a lot tonight?
And for Grove City, it's going to come through the air game, and that's going to be number 12, and that's going to be Breck Peacock. This season, he has 11 catches for 167 yards and a touchdown. He's a little bit shorter, 5'9", 170 pounds. He mostly works through the slot, but last matchup against Mountain Union, he had a lot of deep ball opportunities that just barely missed his grabs. And so can they connect tonight? Can he get on the same page with his quarterback and really stretch the field with this team that's usually considered a very run-heavy team?
And let's talk about what needs to happen for both teams to come out of this victorious.
And for W&J, it's all going to be in the red zone. These last couple weeks, they've really struggled finishing inside the red zone with touchdowns. They've got a lot of field goal opportunities, and they usually have had to settle for them. But I wouldn't be shocked if today W&J really went for it in fourth down in those red zone and those opportunities. And like I said earlier, we got to establish the run. Coach Sirianni really wants to get that run game going early and really take off the pressure off Kellen Stahl and not force him to do too much. And for Grove City, they got to win the turnover battle. The most success they've seen this season is when they win the turnover battle. Key turnovers really flip this game in their favor, and most importantly, they have to sustain drives. And can they convert on those third downs and really use the clock and the time of possession to their advantage? And so having positive plays on first and second down to set themselves up for third and short is something this Grove City Wolverine team really prides themselves on. So if they can win on those, it's going to be a very successful night if you're a Wolverine fan.
Coach DiDonato and the Wolverines and Coach Sirianni and the Presidents. Number 18 team in the country, the preseason pick to win the PAC. It's next on JRM.
Think you've tried everything at Panera? Think again. Introducing more new sandwiches and salads with our new flavor-packed toasted Italiano and the mouth-watering Mediterranean chicken greens with grains. More in every bite, just like the new ciabatta cheesesteak with melty provolone and garlic aioli. And more new options under $10, including our new creamy bacon mac and cheese. Come taste the new era at Panera.
His way into the end zone. to the 20, 15, 10, 5 into the end zone again.
Welcome once again. Robert E. Thorne Field is where we are. We're getting set for kickoff. First, Damon McDermott is... We're not going to go to Damon? Okay, after kickoff, we'll go to Damon? Cool. What we have right now, W&J won the toss. They elected to defer until the second half. So they're going to kick off to Grove City. Grove City has their returners deep, and they are Cameron Epps and Chase Rankin. And to kick off for W&J, Liam Campbell. And this first possession has the potential of being a very impactful one. Here comes the kick. It's away, it's high, it's deep, all the way to the end zone. And then returning it out to 10, 15, 20, out to the 25. So now Grove City will take it first and 10 around the 25-yard line. Damon is joining us. Damon McDermott, you're in with the students.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here at the Wolverine Den. It's the only night game of the year. Talk about a great atmosphere. We got some chest paint. It's a whiteout. I think I'm going to hang down here all night. I'm going to let you hear a little bit what it's like down here as they're on offense.
So Grove City takes it first and 10 from the 25, the students, into this game tonight. They know the importance of this game. Handoff over the right side. He has a move. He has a lane all the way out to midfield already. Inside the 40. Taken down all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Grove City's running back, Ian DeMary. Big impact.
Hey, man, Ian DeMary, 225 pounds. For Ian DeMary just running straight down the sideline. And I'll tell you what, if you can get this guy going on the first play of the game, I don't even want to know what he can do later in this football game, but he's going to be that guy that they're going to keep going to all day long.
Ian DeMary, big play for W&J in a losing effort a couple of weeks ago when they played Mount Union. Had a big run, able to set up a touchdown on that first drive. We'll see what Grove City is able to do here. First and 10. And a handoff over that left side. And W&J able to wrap that one up. That one an effort by Shepard Miller. He's a freshman, and a pickup of maybe 1 or 2.
And you see Ian DeMary with that big run, and then now you turn and give it to Shepard Miller just to give Ian DeMary a breather. But you're going to see a big difference between these two backs. Shepard Miller only 5'10", 210 pounds. Ian DeMary definitely the bigger back that you're going to see a lot more often.
Ethan Wiley, the quarterback this week, not the starting quarterback the past couple of weeks. They decided they wanted to go a little bit different here. A bigger quarterback able to throw the ball a little bit further. Ian DeMary, the tailback. Anthony Brunette at fullback, and a full complement of wide receivers and a huge offensive line, nearly 300 pounds on average. Handoff, and over that left side, once again, Ian DeMary, big pickup there, inside the 25, down to the 22, third and short. And W&J's defense, they've been struggling over the past couple of weeks, and they are looking for these guys to really step up. Tyler Primrose, the defensive tackle, they are looking for him to have a very big game. Brock Sherman, one of their leading tacklers on defense as well. And, of course, Angelo Volumino playing cornerback. He will be challenged a lot tonight by this Grove City offense. So now Grove City, everybody's in tight except for a wide receiver to the near side, outside the screen. And a handoff to DeMary one more time, and he's able to go over that left side, close to a first down pickup. It looks as though he may be a little short.
And man, Gio, this is what this Grove City offense is based on, and that's what positive plays. First down, second down, you're going to see a lot of run plays just to try and make it third and short. And then they get third and short, and they go back to the run game. And so now with fourth and short, after running 3 straight times, I'd be really, really shocked if they don't just run this right up the middle with DeMary.
DeMary averaging over 5 yards a carry in the losing effort to Mount Union. He clearly has the ability, even against a really big defense like Mount Union presented 2 weeks ago. You got to believe they're going to give it to him here one more time. Ethan Wiley in the shotgun with DeMary on his right hip. And the handoff to DeMary, plows through into the line, and it looks as though W&J, this is going to be close. They may have stopped him. Officials are coming in. Are they going to call for a measurement? No. W&J, what a stop on 4th down.
And what a turn of events. You give up a huge gain to DeMary on the first play from scrimmage, and then everyone in tight on 4th down and short, and we all know where the ball was going, and it went right to DeMary. But this time, this W&J defensive line just does not budge. And that's just a great team effort to all rally the football. And now after that first play, the momentum has completely flipped on its head.
Aiden Thomas at defensive tackle and Tyler Primrose, we just mentioned a moment ago, able to stuff things up in the middle of the defensive line for W&J. So now W&J taking over on downs. 1st and 10 inside their own 20-yard line. Spread offense, 4 wide receivers set wide for the Presidents, and Kellen Stahl sitting at quarterback looking over to the sideline. Wanted to get a new call, has it, quick out, and a nice pitch and catch. John Peduzzi, they've got to get him not only involved early, often, because he's going to be the way this team ultimately moves. W&J offense, they're led by their stars in John Peduzzi and Jacob McCosco, leading wide receivers. John Peduzzi looking to make his mark on the all-times list. Back to pass again, pass over the middle, and a nice pitch and catch. That one to Joey DeSabato. And a 1st down pickup. Kellen Stahl getting really comfortable in this backfield.
And that's just kind of what this offense is built on is, can Kellen Stahl make those right reads? You see a lot of slants, a lot of flats. You're going to see a lot of things underneath. And not try and go deep early, but, I mean, Peduzzi, McCosco, you have so much talent there on the outside that those short little intermediate routes and those short routes are just kind of an extension of their run game.
Stahl now 2 for 2 on this drive. Spread offense once again. Takes the handoff and batted down at the line of scrimmage. Nice defensive play by Danny Franco from his inside linebacker position. Was that Jack Jolly, number 8? I thought that was number 0. Thank you very much for that. Jack Jolly making that stop, setting up a 2nd and 10.
And you're going to see a couple defenders around there. And once again, Ben Bladel always around the football.
Screen pass, and Jolly stuffs it up, and he's able to get just a yard on that play. Jolly able to come off the block to make contact, not able to wrap him up, but a swarming Grove City defense able to finish it off.
And that was good initial contact by that Grove City defense to sniff out that screen and get there right away. But then Sharp kind of spins out a little bit and gets a couple more yardage and just makes this 3rd and long just a little less treacherous.
So we're looking at 3rd and 8. And it looks as though Grove City is set back in a 2-deep defense. Man in motion. Back to pass. Has a man open. What a beautiful catch. John Peduzzi one-handed to get that 1st down.
I mean, that's what just what he does, right? And he's going to come off this comeback route. He's going to slow himself down, break to that sideline. And that is a beautifully placed football by Kellen Stahl that gets that ball out even before Peduzzi makes his break. But, I mean, that's just an athletic play by an athletic player. And John Peduzzi just snagging that out of the air.
W&J going up tempo, another pass, almost picked off. Wow, that was close. Number 4, Dominic Danino coming in.
False start,
taking that off.
Offense, number 5, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So they'll back them up 5 yards with the flag.
And the official kind of laid on that flag there, and the ball was kind of already in the motion of being snapped when you see that flag down at the bottom of your screen. But it's those penalties, and you have a great play by Peduzzi, get your offense really going, then you just back yourself up. This is kind of the story of this WJ team that's really trying to clean up their act on offense.
1st and 15 now. Kellen Stahl looking over the defense. Gets everybody in position and hands it off over this left side, trying to find some room outside, just not able to get it. Caleb Brubaker coming up and making the stop on Andrew Sharp on that play.
And Brubaker is just one of those guys that's always to the football, and even from the secondary spot.
Looking at the Grove City defense, we were talking about Brubaker, Jack Jolly, we've already mentioned him so far tonight, but the number that everybody's going to be looking at all night long is number 5, Ben Bladel at linebacker. Deep pass down the left side, trying to find McCosco, just not able to make the catch.
And WJ trying to just get Grove City sleeping a little bit, try to go to double move with McCosco on the outside, but when you have two clear receivers like this WJ team has with McCoskey and Peduzzi, these safeties are bailing deep down the field, and they're going to make sure that these double moves don't happen. And you're going to see a lot of red jerseys around that football.
So 3rd and 15. Stall with 4 wide receivers. Pressure's coming. Scrambles to the right. Goes deep and in and out of the hands for an interception. Able to deflect that away. Setting up what now is a 4th and 15. And both of these defense finding ways of being able to step up when they needed to.
And like you said, very early starts to both these offenses with 2 big plays to really sway the momentum in their favor. But then it's just the defense has tightened up. It's been the first couple plays on offense, and then they just make a big stop. And in this case, for WJ, it was the penalty that really set them back early on.
Mason Klaus with nearly getting the interception there. So now W&J back to punt. And Evan Wyan. The kick is away. It is a spiraling kick over his head for the returner. And he will let it go in and out of the end zone. Cameron Epps, good choice. 8:41 to go in the first quarter. We are tied at 0 in Grove City on JRM.
Miller's Mini Storage has the extra room you need. For more than 3 decades, our storage facility in Elizabeth, PA has offered secure, affordable, and accessible storage solutions. Miller's Mini Storage has you covered. Simply bring a lock and key and keep your items safe at our location. New insulated units are available with dawn to dusk access. Storing with us is easy and convenient. Visit millersministorage.com today and reserve your space. Miller's Mini Storage, your space, your way.
To learn more, visit gcc.edu.
This is a meal. We're talking a good food that makes you feel good meal. You feeling that? Now, meal this. A salad for the first time in a week meal. A catching up with your ex meal.
So, how's your mom?
Been there. Ooh, a scoring cool dad points meal.
Obviously.
Thank you. Do I spy an I need 5 minutes to myself meal? Whatever you're feeling, at Panera, it just meals good.
You got to wonder at times, a matchup like this, number 18 team in the country, preseason pick to win the President's Athletic Conference. One team is 1-1 in Grove City, 0-2 for W&J. They've not been 0-2 since 1997. They lost 3 in a row. That third loss to Grove City in 1997.
Hey man, Gio, this is very uncharted territory for W&J. Like you said, first time starting 0-2 since 1997. Also, Coach Gianni said that this is the first time he's lost back-to-back regular season games his entire career. And that just shows the type of program that they've built, but also the kind of rough start that they've been on to.
Once again, DeMary over that left side, pickup of about 4 on that one. Last drive, picked up 49 yards on that one run, averaging 14.3 a carry. And he's just the kind of guy you can give it to him over and over and over again.
And he just gets better as the course of this game goes. And like those runs that he had right there is in the third, fourth quarter, they might be 4, even more yards on top of what he got there. And so he's just the type of guy that if you can just keep relying, keep going to, it's going to get better.
Back to pass. One-on-one coverage on the outside and intercepted. What a great pick. Dante DeRubo coming from his safety position, able to pull off of one in order to make that interception. What a great play.
And Coach Giannato talked to us about how Ethan Wiley just has that arm. And that ball was thrown so high. I could even see that in the lights. But then DeRubo just coming across, just had enough time to really peel off his guy and really play the football. And that's just the type of thing you can't do as a quarterback. Once you're trying to go to that middle of the field, if you hang that ball just a second too late, there's a lot more defenders that can get around it.
Turnovers can be so huge in this game of two teams that are so evenly matched. So now can W&J capitalize on this turnover? 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line. 3 wide receivers sitting wide to the right. and Grove City almost jumped on that.
And right now, Mangita, they look to see what the defense is going to give them, and then they don't even have a play right away. Instead, they try to get them to jump. They look to the sideline, and then they get their play, and they see what the defense is doing.
Stahl back to pass, quick route, and a nice pitch and catch. That one to John Peduzzi. And he's able to get it any way you throw it to him. Whether it's out to the sidelines, inside, slant routes, he'll take it any way you can get.
And sometimes a lot of your wideouts don't really like to work the middle of the field. That's where all the linebackers are. You're taking a lot of shots. But, I mean, if you can take these underneath routes, it really opens up your presence on the outside.
Saul, pressure's coming from Bladel. Able to get it out. And a quick hit. And a nice run all the way inside the 40-yard line. Kobe DeRosa on an outlet pass. Just hoping to be able to get something out of it. Turns it into a first down.
And with Kellen Stahl, you just know he's going to try to extend this play. And he just does not want to go down. And the longer he stays in the pocket, the more these defenders have to just keep up with their receivers. And DeRosa kind of springs forward and even gets a lot of extra yards after catch.
Stahl back, quick toss. Back inside for a pickup of about 2 yards for DeRosa. You notice that most of the passes seem to be really quick. Maybe a second or so, and I'm wondering how much of it is because of Ben Bladel in that pass rush.
Well, it's kind of what the defense is giving you, and right now they really don't want to let up the splash play. They don't want to get anything over their head, so they're going to allow Peduzzi, McCosco, and Mekhi Evans to really work underneath, but instead, Kellen Stahl is just really making these plays extended, making something else happen.
Stahl slant over the middle. McCosco has it inside the 20, close to the 15-yard line. Another big first down pickup.
And Kellen Stahl definitely is not shy about throwing this ball over the middle, and he finds his receiver, but what's important is you just can't give it any sort of luck. You really have to drive that ball through, and Kellen Stahl knows that his receivers got big hands. They're consistent. They catch the ball with their hands instead of their body, and so he's willing to really rip that ball through the middle.
We saw W&J in the first game against Utica, and it looked as though Kellen Stahl was a little unsure of himself, but between his last game and then a bye week, he really has it coming together here in this first half, first quarter especially. Stahl to the corner, trying to get Peduzzi. He had him beat and just a little overthrown.
And that's the type of ball you just got to hit. Peduzzi has just enough space. He uses his long legs to really break away from the defender, but just when you have a lot of pressure in your face from this Grove City D-line, you really got to put that ball in its place when you have the opportunity.
Peduzzi already 3 receptions for 23 yards. And you look at the passes, they're really short, but for the most part, 10, 15 yards maybe at the most, but they're effective and they're moving the chain. Second down and 10 for W&J. Back to pass, looking, quick throw. And he overthrows his receiver. He was looking for Peduzzi again around the 10, just not able to make that connection.
And so, like, whenever you really try and force that throw and force this pass game, when you've seen early successes, you kind of make yourself one-dimensional. You run 2 straight pass plays, they go for incompletions, now you're in 3rd and long, and we all know you're going to throw the ball again. So we're going to see if maybe they can switch it up and do a little bit of a screen pass, trying to get Peduzzi or McCosco the ball in their hands, see what they can do, or a little screen pass with DeRosa in the backfield.
Bladel set up over the right tackle, pressure's coming. He scrambles, and it looks as he's going down for a sack. Was that number 67 on the sack? Jordan Korzewski was able to get in there, kind of just grabbed him by the back of the jersey and wouldn't let go.
Hey, man, Gio, this is all we talked about in pregame with the red zone. And W&J has an opportunity in the red zone to score. And once again, they're coming back with a field goal attempt. And this type of game with this environment against this type of team, you need to put the ball in the end zone. And right now, they're already doing the opposite and settling for a field goal.
So Devin Wyatt looking to make this from 39 yards. Plenty of leg. He could have made that from 49, 50 yards, easy. 3-0. Washington and Jefferson breaks a scoreless tie here in Grove City on JRM.
Have a nice day, family.
What would they do without me?
Can someone fix my hair?
Must have cheesy eggs.
I can't find my keys.
No, annoying! Never!
Oh, I need some help.
I better get more life insurance.
You're irreplaceable, but a life insurance policy from GBU Life can provide your family with the resources for a well-planned future. Visit gbu.org to get started.
A house is just 4 walls, but a home, that's something more. At Your Town Realty, we don't just work here, we live here. We're small by choice, with deep roots and real relationships that go beyond transactions. And because this city means so much to us, we give back, year after year. It's not about being the biggest, it's about being the one that feels like home. Your Town Realty, locally owned, community grown.
If you need insurance, you need an agency that's sharp. The Sharp Insurance Agency is an independent agency and distinguish themselves by providing face-to-face customer service and reviewing coverage to provide the best possible value for their clients.
Hi, I'm Mike Sharp. Lean on my years of experience in the Pittsburgh area to find you the best insurance coverage, because when insurance companies compete, you win.
The Sharp Insurance Agency. Contact us today to have your personal or business insurance professionally reviewed.
What a gorgeous shot. Look at that moon. Absolutely beautiful night here in Grove City. Perfect temperature, perfect humidity. This is like dream world conditions for a football game, if not just not for life.
Exactly. And football is just brings out a different type of energy to a town, and Grove City coming together on this beautiful night here on a Saturday for first week of PAC play. And so far it's living up to its hype.
W&J off the interception, 8 plays, 35 yards, able to have that field goal and go up 3-0. The kick is now away. It is high and deep and taken at the 1-yard line. 15, 20. Makes a couple of men miss and taken down ultimately at the 27-yard line. So now Grove City gets this. 1st and 10, and they're trailing by 3. Nothing really changes when it comes to game plan at this point, does it?
No, it does not. In the first drive, you had so much success in the ground game, which is what you want to do. It's just you finally give your quarterback, Ethan Wiley, an opportunity to really throw the ball deep and really push that field, and just hangs that ball up a little too late and just lets a defender make a play. So I can confidently say that they're going to go right back to him for Ethan Wiley, but I think they're not going to go deep right off the bat. I think you're going to see a lot of intermediate, a lot of short routes. Try and get him some sort of completion just to get him comfortable in the game.
Wiley in a shotgun, Demary on his hip, hands it off to Demary, and he's able to make a man miss and plows forward out to the 32-yard line, pick up a 5. He's a guarantee 4-5 a play, it seems.
And if you told every offensive coordinator that they can start with 2nd and 5 on their second down from scrimmage, and I think they would take it every single time, because first down, just getting some positive yardage and just making 2nd and 3rd down so much easier and so much more attainable is something that this Grove City team really prides themselves on. And now with 2nd and 5, the playbook is so open, but you just know they're going right back to Demary.
Wiley looking to the sideline for a play adjustment. Looks over the defense. Snap. Demary one more time, this time bottled up. Hit at the line of scrimmage by Brock Sherman, the leading tackler for W&J, able to just get through that hole and stop him.
So now it kind of interests Grove City because they go to the ground game twice, and what they're trying to do is just set up 3rd and short. And Ethan Wiley doesn't have a whole lot of experience under his belt, but this is the type of plays that he is supposed to convert on. This 3rd and short, Demary did the dirty work in the 1st and 2nd downs to get you something manageable on 3rd down, but now it's up to you to really convert.
So Grove City going with 4 wide receivers, trying to spread the W&J defense. Is it to throw the ball or just to soften the defense a little bit in order to get the running game going, to pick up those 3 yards? Back to pass, throws it, slant pattern at the 40, completes it.
And that's all Breck Peacock. And like we highlighted him at the beginning of the game because he was going to be your bailout guy. 3rd and short, it's up to Ethan Wiley to really put a ball on somebody. But Breck Peacock is the guy that you look for in those 3rd downs. He goes up for that football, he uses his hands, and he just secures that ball for that 1st down. And he's going to be the guy that's going to bail out Ethan Wiley a ton on these 3rd down situations.
Shotgun and fullback in tight. Anthony Brunette. And you look at the fullback, he seems to be really big for a fullback, doesn't he?
And Grove City really likes to bring in a lot of
W&J. They're first in the
bigger
first
players
half.
to help with the run game. And Brunette, just a fullback, but 5'10", 225.
He looks a whole lot bigger than I'm not sure they're being completely honest about those numbers.
And it just looks like you have your fullbacks looks like an extension of your offensive line, and then your running back, Demary, looks like an extension of your fullback. And it's just the way this team is built to really run this football. And when you have that much size on your offensive line, you just really know how to support that run game.
Looking at scores around the President's Athletic Conference, all of these are finals from earlier today. 40-38 Hiram over St. Vincent. Also Waynesburg, big victory over Teal, 45-14. Case Western all over Bethany, 55-0. And Geneva going up to Allegheny and beating them by 12, 28-16. Geneva trying to make an argument that they are one of the better teams in this conference.
And Geneva's really struggled at being just caught in the middle. And they're always around that 500 mark. They're better than half the conference, but they're also not in that upper tier with a lot of these teams like W&J, Grove City, Westminster. But they're really trying to make a name for themselves in Gina DeMarco's final year to maybe push themselves up in that top tier.
So W&J, after calling the timeout on defense on a 1st and 10 from the 41 for Grove City. Back to pass, pressure's coming, and he's sacked. Great tackle. Nathaniel Kadarj Harris, coming off of his defensive end position, junior out of Norway, making his name present and his presence felt.
And Kadarj Harris coming off the edge, but just using the bull rush technique. And you see a lot of these guys in the NFL, they're really trying to dip their shoulder, get around the outside, but he also has an element to his game where he can really push this big, deep offensive line for Grove City into the quarterback and makes a great play. And that's that negative play that Grove City's trying to eliminate completely. And second and forever, this is going to really put a lot of pressure on Ethan Wiley to make a play.
7-yard loss on that tackle, setting up a 2nd and 17. Back, more pressure, another sack. This one from Tyler Primrose.
And two seniors
coming in quick.
Two seniors coming up big for this team. And we've talked a lot about last year with W&J, with Dawson Dietz, Avery Keith, and those guys were just an upper tier from themselves. But these guys were kind of waiting in the wings for a couple years, trying to wait for their shot. And Tyler Primrose is an exceptional player that really forces that interior of the offensive line to really crumble.
And now Grove City looking at 3rd and 27. And you got to wonder if you just run the ball here in order to realize, it's going to be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get this first down pickup and the whistles blow.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
What's 5 more yards on top of that? Right, man, Jamie?
Right.
And at this point, like you said, is it better to just run the football? Absolutely, because the amount of times that you can actually convert on this 3rd and 32, but the likelihood of throwing an interception or a turnover is a lot higher. So just setting yourself up for that punt team to come back out, and you're going to see them go right to the running back to try and get as many yards as they can. But we could see Coach Dionato take some risks here that might be out of his character.
Handoff. And the Presidents stopping that run for just a 2-yard gain. Something happened during one of the breaks that this defense is really coming alive. We were expecting a great defense tonight, but we thought it would come from the other side of the field.
Exactly, and all this talk about Grove City's defense. But this WJ defense was one of the top in the PAC last year, and I know they lost a lot of good players to graduation, but there's a lot of other good players on this team that can really make an impact. And we haven't talked enough about them. And Coach Sirianni is saying that they're a little banged up on defense, but they got a lot of guys waiting in the wings that are looking for their shot.
High snap, high kick. It is short and will bounce and roll. Take a huge Grove City roll inside the 40, down around the 36-yard line. So now W&J gets it with just a few seconds remaining in this quarter. And at the end of one quarter, as we're approaching this, I'm thinking that Sirianni has to feel good about what his offense is showing him so far and what his defense just showed him on that last series.
And for WJ, you take away that first play from scrimmage, that really big run from Demary, and the only thing you really need to do now in terms of a team is just put the ball in the end zone. And the offense is really moving the sticks. The defense is coming up big with 2 sacks already on that last possession. They just really need to put the ball in the end zone.
Last play of the quarter, barring a penalty, only 6 seconds to go. Stall now, man in motion. Takes a snap, and now there is a timeout. W&J.
Second charge, timeout, W&J.
Wasn't sure if they were getting short on the play clock, but they decided to go ahead and take the timeout. Just a little bit of confusion for W&J as they're getting to wrap up this quarter. Damon McDermott down on the sideline. Damon, what do you see down there?
Thanks, guys. It's been real interesting. The biggest thing to me so far is Ben Bladle's been moving around left side to the right side, and then even sometimes you meet him in the middle. And we talked to the coaches pregame. They're doing everything they can to disguise him until they snap the ball. So, again, watch him fall the running back or the motion man, and he's going to do his best to try to get another sack. He's got one so far, but, again, they're double-teaming him every time he's pass rushing.
Thank you very much, Damon. And you know what? It's interesting is that seems to be the key at this point, because his number wasn't called a lot a couple of weeks ago with Mount Union, and they were able to isolate him and make the other 10 guys have to show up. And we'll see this happen again here with W&J. W&J back to pass, looking, slant pattern. McCosco, he's off to the races. Can he be caught? And he finally is inside the 20-yard line. Jacob McCosco.
And this is what you get whenever you try to play up on this guy like Jacob McCosco.
That is the end of the first quarter.
And we're going to break this thing down when we get back.
We're at the end of one. 3-0. W&J on top of Grove City. We'll come back with the second quarter next on JRM Sports.
A house is just 4 walls, but a home, that's something more. At Your Town Realty, we don't just work here, we live here. We're small by choice, with deep roots in real relationships that go beyond transactions. And because this city means so much to us, we give back, year after year. It's not about being the biggest, it's about being the one that feels like home. Your Town Realty, locally owned, community grown.
At Loewe, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Loewe apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Loewe to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Pursue your calling at Grove City College.
Miller's Mini Storage has the extra room you need. For more than 3 decades, our storage facility in Elizabeth, PA has offered secure, affordable, and accessible storage solutions. Miller's Mini Storage has you covered. Simply bring a lock and key and keep your items safe at our location. New insulated units are available with dawn to dusk access. Storing with us is easy and convenient. Visit millersministorage.com today and reserve your space. Miller's Mini Storage, your space, your way.
Alex, how is it that he was able to get so wide open on that play?
And so we're going to see a little slant pattern here, right, from Jacob McCosco. And we're going to see Andrew Sharp go out in the flat. But what they're reading, right, is this outside linebacker, Bowden Davidson. And you're going to see him actually look towards the running back instead and then let McCosco go right behind him. So when you play this, you're watching Bowden Davidson and see how he reacts and goes towards the back Andrew Sharp. McCosco slips right up behind, and that's just a great play design by the W&J Presidents.
And it seems as though it was really set up because of all of those short passing plays that they had early, opening up that deep passing play.
And once you go to the back a ton underneath it, like you said, you just get those outside linebackers to really cheat up. And unfortunately, that's the doom for Davidson.
And now W&J, 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Coach Sirianni says he needs to convert these touchdown opportunities inside the red zone. Back to pass to the end zone for McCosco, in and out of his hands.
Trying to get that fade ball going. This is kind of something that really elevates this offense to another level. Is they can get these fade routes completed with Peduzzi and McCosker on the outside. They do a lot through the middle of the field, a lot in the flat, but if they can really convert this deep ball, it just makes this an even harder offense to stop.
It's interesting. You talk to Coach Sirianni. He says he wants to be able to run the ball, right? But in that first quarter, rushed it 3 times for -1, threw it for 117, though. Stahl now, shotgun, man in motion. Back to pass. Finds his man out in the flat. Looks like he got 6. Andrew Sharp, you called his jersey number to start this before the game even started. And perfect pass out in the flat to Sharp.
And Sharp does a lot through the run game, but I mean, he also got some moves on the outside in the pass game. And I can't wait to break down this play scheme that Coach Sirianni drew up. Once you give him a lot of time to really prepare, Coach Sirianni is one of the best offensive coordinators that you can find in the PAC. And he does a lot of misdirection, a lot of motions, and that what gets Sharp freed up on that play.
And now set the kick, Devin Wyatt, to make this a 10-point game. The kick is up, and it is good. All right. Alex, break this down for us. Why was he able to be so wide open on this play?
And so Andrew Sharp actually starts out here, and then he's going to motion in and then go outside into his fade route. And what they're looking for is number 9, and that's going to be Mason Klaus. And he's going to follow Sharp across the field, but then not realize he's coming all the way back around. So when you play it, you're going to see Sharp motion in, come right back out. Klaus takes a step out, and he's not fast enough to get to the outside, and Sharp just puts on the Jets there to get into the end zone.
Sirianni really, like you just said, a masterful job of being able to read what the defense will give you, the tendencies, and a perfect play there that I think most people watching this wondering, how does a guy get that wide open? Great example and explanation of why that was possible. So now Grove City at this point, they're down 10 at home to start the second quarter. And the running game has shown a little bit, but except for one big play, not a whole lot. And then the passing game, just non-existent with those sacks.
And with Grove City, it was all based off getting off to a hot start. And your quarterback's struggling, you have a big run game. But once you start getting fallen behind early in the game, it's really hard to catch up, and it puts a lot of pressure on him.
And now the kick return, able to split some defenders and break free out over the 30-yard line. Nice return there by Grove City to get them pretty decent field position. And that was Chase Rankin, the junior, on the return. And now you have to wonder what it is that Grove City is going to do at this point, because W&J able to get the pressure on the quarterback, and Wiley's having a difficult time having any time back there. And the one time he did try throwing it deep, and ended up being a pick.
And Coach Leonardo, we know, is not going to change his identity based off the scenario that's happening. And you just know he's going to continuously go to DeMary, continuously go to Shepard Miller. But it's just, can you get Ethan Wiley just some short completions, something to get his confidence up, and not always force him to go deep.
And handoff. This time DeMary over that right side, pickup of just 2. And W&J has to be happy with a stop like that, only giving up 2 yards on first down.
And so what you're watching now is that W&J is really adjusting to the run game, and they're trying to force Grove City to do something that they're not very good at, and that is try to throw the ball when the loaded box. So you have a ton of guys, ton of defenders trying to stop the run. You're opening up a lot more one-on-one matchups on the outside for Wiley to go to. But WJ is kind of forcing them to throw the ball. They're not going to let them lean on you all day long with this Grove City offensive line, so they're going to make you earn it on the outside.
Back to pass, looking, and complete misread. And I'm not sure if that was so much a misread, the ball along with the ball just coming out of his hand, not able to completely secure it.
Mangio, that ball was probably in the air for probably 30 seconds, and you just watch that thing waffle around. And these WJ defenders all around it, but they had no idea how to adjust to this ball because they'd never seen it. And you try and go deep, but the problem is you just have a little miscommunication with the receiver. The receiver stops instead of pursuing his way up the field. And at that point, you're just kind of throwing it up for grabs, and Grove City is very, very fortunate that they didn't get that ball turned over.
And so now, Grove City in a 3rd and long where they do not want to be. Back to pass, here comes the rush. able to get it out and well over the receiver, Sam Penna, and just nowhere near. And you got to wonder at this point, Grove City making the decision to go from Sutton Ellis to Ethan Wiley, and do you continue on with Ethan Wiley as he's struggling at this point, or maybe bring Sutton Ellis back in, who showed obviously some good performance in order to get that first week win.
And Sutton Ellis is kind of more of your running quarterback, and at this point in the game, you really need someone that can throw the ball. And Coach Leonardo really talked about how Ethan Wiley gives them the best chance to push the ball down the field vertically, but if he's struggling with that way, I wouldn't be surprised if they switch back to Sutton Ellis soon.
And the punt is away. It is high and over end and taken at the 40-yard line. So now W&J gets the ball back, leading 10-0 at Grove City. What do they do with this possession? We find out next on JRM Sports.
Now is the time. Today is the day for us to strike out and move forward in confidence and faith.
W&J rolling, Stahl looking for a receiver, incomplete pass, trying to get a connection to Peduzzi around the 40-yard line, not able to do that. Grove City had good coverage on that one.
And W&J is going to try and get Kellen Stahl to really move around the pocket and try and get away from the pocket. This Grove City defense is really strong. Interior defensive line, Ben Bladel is obviously a problem. And so they're going to try and get Kellen Stahl to move around and make throws on the run, which obviously a lot harder passes to complete. But when you have the receivers like they do, it's a lot easier. And you're going to see Kellen Stahl is actually going to run out and be a receiver with Kobe DeRosa now as a Wildcat quarterback.
Takes the ball, runs over that left side right where Stahl is, and able to pick up nice yardage, 6 yards on that play. If you're going to run, normally you run away from the quarterback, but Sirianni expects his quarterback to lay some blocks too.
Expect the unexpected, and Kellen Stahl is definitely not someone that's going to shy away from contact. But Coach Sirianni, this is exactly the type of mojo you want to be in as an offensive coordinator, as a head coach, is when you've used so many different looks and they're getting so many different successes through the run game and the pass game. And this Grove City defense has to account for so many different looks that are all being successful against them.
Stahl back, pass to McCosco, first down pickup down to the 45 and inside, close to the 44-yard line. That is so difficult to cover, isn't it, when you have McCosco and Peduzzi on the same side of the field? I mean, how do you double? You can't double both of them when they're on the same side.
Exactly, and both these players are such star players.
Officials
on the same
timeout
team.
for an injured defensive player.
All right, injury. Okay, injury on the field as they tend to the player. We'll go ahead and take a timeout with them. Back with more. 10-0. W&J on top of Grove City on JRM
Timeout
Sports.
media.
Now is the time. Today is the day for us to strike out and move forward in confidence and faith.
Stay connected with all the action. Follow JRM Sports on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Get the latest highlights, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes moments from your favorite sports. Don't miss a second. Follow us today.
20, 15, 10, walk in, touchdown. High pass is caught. He's got it. What a play. And it's a foot race.
Thanks for fixing the door.
I was nervous about that lock. To your family, you are more than just your income.
What would she do without me? She'd probably have to marry our next-door neighbor, Todd.
Well, Todd, I have no feelings for you whatsoever, but I'm going to have to say I do. I can't afford a handyman.
Gotta get some life insurance.
Although you're irreplaceable, a life insurance policy from GBU Life can provide the financial security your family needs for a secure future. To get started, visit gbu.org.
The injured Wolverine was Noah Wheeler, and he was able to come off the field under his own power, and hopefully he'll be able to get back in this game very soon for Grove City. So W&J has it, 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of Grove City. Stahl right now, quarterback rating of 149.4. He's 10 of 17 for 144 yards and a touchdown. And they're looking to try to go up 17-0 here. He's running, he's scrambling, he's looking, has a man open on the sideline. He makes the connection, 30, down inside the 25 now. Great pitch and catch. And they continue to seem to be able to throw the ball at will, this time McCosco on the outside.
And before the break, Mangina, you talked about having Peduzzi and McCosco on the same side, and we saw it right there. You just see Peduzzi streaking down the field, and almost 2 or 3 Grove City jerseys go straight with him. And then McCosco stops on a dime, comes back to the football, and no one's anywhere near him, and he's going to take a lot more yards after catch if you're going to give him the space.
Peduzzi and McCosco stacked in an I formation on the right side. And the pass, McCosco slant, breaks a tackle inside the 20, inside the 15-yard line. What looks to be another first down pickup inside the red zone for W&J.
And so these are the type of things that the Grove City defense is going to live with. And they're just not going to give up that deep play, that deep shot to the end zone. So what they're going to do is they're going to drop back immediately and just let them throw underneath. And what Grove City needs to do better is they need to wrap up and they need to tackle these receivers before they get any more yards after the catch.
Stahl scrambling, looking for a receiver, has one inside the 5, touchdown McCosco. That was a great route once again. Just a lot of confusion with some misdirection on the receivers and the defensive backs just not sure who to cover.
And all this is coming from Kellen Stahl. And Kellen Stahl is doing a great job of working his way outside the pocket and really pulling these defenders to make a decision. Either come up and tackle Stahl or dip back into coverage. And McCosco kind of exploits that right there. He was this guy that just got the ball fed to him nonstop on the offensive end.
And the kick is up, and it is good. 17-0. And how about that pass that he threw? It was a bit of a sidearm throw. He was looking for the lane. He knew he couldn't go overhand with it, so he threw it a little sidearm, able to make the completion. Kellen Stahl really coming into his own this game.
Exactly, and you just see him rolling to his left, and then he's right-handed, so he's got to bring his body and his shoulders around and contort his way to get enough power to generate and zip that ball right to McCosco. And like I said earlier, it's just all involved with making these defenders make a decision. And if they're going to tackle Kellen Stahl or if they're going to drop back in coverage, in that case, they try and step up a little bit more to make sure Stahl doesn't get in the end zone, but they leave McCosco open right behind them.
So we've been talking with each possession as W&J has scored. They go up 3-0 and then 10-0 and now 17-0 with 11:30 to go in the second quarter before halftime. To what extent does Coach DiDonato need to start adjusting things and changing things up a little bit? You want to stick with your game plan, and the game's not out of reach, but the defense has not shown for Grove City that they can stop this President's offense.
And Grove City's going to have a decision to make if they want to keep Ethan Wiley in at their quarterback or if they want to switch and transition to Sutton Ellis. And I'm wondering if Coach DiDonato is willing to make that decision soon.
Return up the sideline, out over the 30-yard line, and a 1st and 10 for Grove City here from the 33. And they need to be able to show something. At this point, even if you don't score points, how about a nice, positive, sustained drive showing that your offense is able to put a couple of plays together, a couple of first downs together with the pass and the run?
And that's what they've been trying to do. And after that first drive, they really haven't had a lot of sustained drives, but they've been getting really good starting field position, from the kickoff return. And so they don't really have any excuse to not be able to put together a drive with the run game that they have been going.
And the snap and a handoff. And DeMary has it over that right side. Nice pickup for DeMary, and Sutton Ellis is in at quarterback. Coach DiDonato said both of these guys, they're the best cheerleaders for the other guy. But it's got to be really disappointing for Ethan that he needs to get pulled out of this game, and an opportunity for Sutton here.
Well, Coach DiDonato also talked about how neck and neck these guys were in camp and in the first couple weeks of the season, and they both brought something different to this team. And And right now, Sutton Ellis's abilities are kind of more needed in this situation. Both quarterbacks bring the same amount of energy to this team.
Quick slant and behind. He was looking for Breck Peacock and about a good yard or so behind him, and the quarterback's really having a difficult time syncing up with their receivers.
And we've kind of been a little tough on the quarterbacks and trying to see what's going wrong for Grove City on offense, but we got to give praise to the W&J defense and how they've stepped up exponentially from the last couple of weeks, where they've given up so many points to Utica, so many points to Hampton-Sydney. But with Grove City, it's just a little different, and you just see this team, and it all stems from that defensive line with Tyler Primrose and Aiden Thomas, and just really doing their best to get after the quarterback and putting their hands up in those passing lanes.
W&J, will they bring pressure? They do. Blitz is coming, and a quick slant in an attempt to make the connection, trying to get Daniel Sullivan on that slant route, and just cannot make that pass completion. And now another quick 3 and out, 4th and 6, and giving the ball back to W&J.
And W&J put Sam Coleman on an island there at his corner spot to really make sure that they don't get any big plays. And Daniel Sullivan trying to just somehow draw a defensive pass interference, but the referee's not having it.
Angelo Villamino is back deep to receive the punt from Brady Lane. Kick is away. It is a high punt, spiraling. Call for fair catch taken at the 23-yard line. And so now W&J, this was not a score that we were anticipating at this point. And they could really begin to put this game away. It's interesting that we're talking about this so far into the early half of this game, just a few minutes into the second quarter. But if they go up 24-0, then it's going to be very difficult for this Grove City offense to be able to come back from that. They're just not built that way, right?
Exactly, and their identity is not to play catch-up. It's to get an early lead and let's control the clock. And right now they're kind of forced to do something that they're not. And like we saw with Mountain Union 2 weeks ago, once you're in that spot, it's really hard to dig yourself out of it.
Stall in the shotgun, spread formation. Quick toss out to the left side. And a nice little pickup for Andrew Sharp. Able to get a few yards on that play. It looks as though he may be getting as many as 4, setting up a second and what looks to be about 6 for W&J. The injured defensive player for Grove City is being tended to at this point. And W&J, I don't know what it was. I mean, when we were talking to Coach Sirianni during our midweek meeting, you could just tell that there was a level of frustration that he had. This idea of starting the season 0-2, that he's just not experienced this, and that he was just dead set, nothing but business about coming into this game off of that bye week.
And for W&J, this bye week was not a rest vacation. Instead, it was, we got to practice. We got to get a lot more practice in for a team like Grove City to play against. But W&J is not an 0-2 team that you normally think about. They didn't play easy teams in the schedule. They didn't drop upsets that they were supposed to win. Like, they're playing teams that are really, really good football teams. And Grove City did the same thing when they lost their last matchup against Mountain Union. With the non-conference schedule, it allows you to challenge yourself without a lot of repercussions in the conference. And that's what you set yourself up for in these games, because the conference play makes a lot more difference than non-conference.
Stall back to pass. Sharp has it. 30, 35, first down pickup out of bounds around the 40-yard line. And a quick little hit. And they really seem to have Grove City scrambling at this point about what they're going to do on offense and who to cover.
Because they're getting so much value and so much production out of their playmakers. McCosco, Peduzzi, Kellen Stahl's playing great. But then you also have Andrew Sharp just underneath, who's just getting these little checkdowns, but he's making a lot more happen after he catches that ball. And once you get 3-4 players that are making plays for you, all on each side of the field, it's really hard to stop if you're Grove City, who's been a talented defense for so long.
McCosco and Peduzzi on the near side, but they hand it off to Sharp on the far side. Able to bounce outside and pick up what looks to be about 3 or 4 yards on the play. And now it looks as though Sirianni is content to go ahead and run the ball a little bit more, eat up a little bit more clock, but still have a successful drive in the process.
And these teams are kind of doing the opposite of what they usually like to do. And W&J is able to kind of sit on the ball, chew the clock a little bit, which we anticipate Grove City was going to do a lot more.
Quick slant pass, Peduzzi, first down pickup across midfield, out to the 49-yard line of Grove City. He needed to get to the 50, so continuing to move the chains, the quick releases. It just frustrates a defensive line on that pass rush, doesn't it?
Because you have to recognize screen, you got to stop your pass rush, and then you got to go run the opposite way and go tackle somebody. And what these short routes do is they force these defenders to consistently come up and make tackles, and it just really tires you out as a unit.
Play action pass. Stahl looking, has a man open. Completion. Look at that. Great catch there. Joey DeSabato once again, and a nice big pickup on that play. Now it's setting up a third and what looks to be very short. Actually, second and short. Just got a first down on that last play, so 2nd and 3. They need to get to the 39-yard line. And now W&J changing the tempo once again. Handoff. Sharp hitting the backfield, trying to make a couple of men miss, and able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. And that was a heroic effort just to accomplish that on that play.
Exactly, and just not a whole lot there. Grove City gets initial penetration, able to stop Andrew Sharp before he really even gets going. But somehow able to get to the back of the line of scrimmage. But I was really shocked that Coach Sirianni didn't take a shot on there. 2nd and short, you have them all thinking run, and just why not go over the top and try and go somewhere deep. But knowing Coach Sirianni is definitely not shy about doing that at any point.
Peduzzi's in the slot. McCoskell on the near side, back to pass. Looking for that pass over the right side, left side, and he got it. Once again, a completion. Joey DeSabato able to take over the space that Peduzzi cleared for him, it looked like.
Like I said, Peduzzi, McCoskell, we talk about them all day long, but Joey DeSabato is having a great little game himself, and he's really feeding off those open looks that he gets now. With all the attention drawn to the other guys, he can kind of do his work one-on-one, which is a lot easier to do a receiver when you don't have another safety coming in to help.
Sabato, the sophomore, stepping up. And once again, there was an attempt to add a wildcat, but a penalty against
Prior to the
W&J.
snap, false start, offense number 73. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And we saw this on the first drive. We saw how good W&J was doing moving the ball. And then you get a first down penalty, and that kind of just kills a little bit of the momentum that you had. So I'm interested to see how their approach changes, and they really got to pick up this first down if they really want to continue to dominate this football game.
So surprising that we're not calling Ben Bladel's number very much. I think we mentioned him once so far tonight. Jolly had a couple of plays early, and so did Caleb Brubaker, but they've not been factors in this game. Back to pass again, slant. McCoskell has it inside the 20, 15, down inside the 10. First and goal from inside the 10 for McCoskell.
And it's just like backyard football. He's running a slant. He gets the ball. He stops immediately and just reverses and goes right back the other way. And as a defender, it's so frustrating because you're trying to see how deep down the field he goes, but then he just slams on the brakes and just goes back the other way. And this secondary for Grove City is just getting gashed, and they're exhausted, and they're not able to sub with the tempo that W&J is going.
Stahl has it, looking for a receiver. Plenty of time, rolling to his right. Decides to keep it himself inside the 5 and finally taken down at the 4. So he has plenty of time back there to make decisions. So oftentimes he's back there with a quick 1-2 step drop and then letting it go. So then that discourages the defense from trying to put a blitz because you're not going to get to him anyway. And then you go back in coverage and you leave lanes for him to run.
And then this is an interesting play because it's the same exact play that we saw earlier on the touchdown to Sharp. They do the same thing. They motion across. They have him go back the other way. But that time, Grove City recognized it. They cover it and then force Kellen Stahl to do something different.
Peduzzi in motion, and Stahl decides to keep it himself, calls his own number, walks into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 23-0. The President's all over the Wolverines.
And just another callback to the last touchdown with McCoskell when Kellen Stahl threw that sidearm pass. It was the same exact thing, except they decided to cover the receiver this time, and Kellen Stahl just able to walk in the end zone. And you just see the same plays, but you see different variations of it, and you're just making Grove City make a decision. And that time they made a decision to cover the receiver and leave Kellen Stahl to just walk right in.
What a performance tonight. W&J and their offense is putting together. The kick is up, and the kick is good. What's interesting here, and we've mentioned this before, Grove City has a defense that's one of the top defenses in the entire country. They brought back most of their seniors to play, most of their starters from last year to be a part of this operation. They felt the most comfortable about the defense, and nothing really seems to be working for them, offense or defense. Sirianni has devised a scheme here to just completely neutralize the skill positions on the defensive side of the ball.
And we kind of see early in the season that the defenses actually have the upper hand because the offenses kind of play a little bit more vanilla, right? They're just getting started in the season. They've only been through camp and maybe week one. But as the season goes on, these offenses get a lot more creative because they see the film with these defenses and how they react and their tendencies on defense. It's a lot easier for a creative mind to really make up those different play designs to really keep a team on their toes. And right now, W&J just looks like they watched 80 hours of film with the type of plays that they're running.
And so now the kickoff about to take place. And Grove City trying to figure out on the sideline what they have to do in order to put together a drive. Kickoff taken at the 5, up over the 20 now. 25, pushing close to the 30-yard line. And so Grove City just trying to find something that they can build on. And the passing game has just been non-existent for them. And then because of that, it looks as though W&J is able to key more and more on the run game too.
And once you have a very limited pass threat, it's so much easier to just load up the box and just stop the one thing that they're good at, which is going to be running the football. And until either Sutton Ellis or Ethan Wiley really show something in the pass game, you're going to see the same look up until the end of this game.
Everybody's in tight for Grove City. Clear running formation. And over that right side, Ian DeMary able to get a nice pickup on first down. And he consistently is getting that nice first down pickup for them. But then they go to try to throw the ball, just can't get into a completion. Next thing you know, you're still looking at second and 3rd and 5. And then you need to throw the ball, and they can't get that second completion either.
And DeMary just always falling forward. And you just rarely see him actually get knocked backwards. And so if you're able to get a couple yards before you're contacted and then still lean forward for another yard or two, that's the type of 5-yard gain that he always works hard for.
Handoff to Mary. Just try to bounce it outside to the left, but then just drops his head down and plows forward, and it looks as though he picks up it. The far judge, I thought he was going to give him a first down, but it looks as though he's going to be short by about a yard, so it's a 3rd and 1 for Grove City.
And we just talked about how he just always falls forward, and DeMary just looks like he gets stopped, and then he just buries his head down and just pushes for another more couple yards. And like you said, that back judge almost gave him the first down. And 3rd and short. Come on, man, Jay. We all know what's happening here, right? It's going right to DeMary, right up the middle again.
Snap, handoff. DeMary has it, and he continues because of that leg churn. He was tackled for a loss, or at best with no gain. But because of that leg churn, he's able to get the first down.
Go 3 times in a row, he leans forward 3 times in a row. And that time, if Grove City can do this, they would love to. They would love to just give the ball to DeMary 3 times in a row to get a first down. It's just always that positive play. And you very rarely see DeMary actually get hit backwards and take negative yards, and always being able to go forward. But now it's kind of up to Sutton Ellis to really actually make a play in the pass game.
He's about to. Pressure's coming. He's trying off to the races. He's going, but he's brought down from behind. A pickup of about 1, maybe, but there's a flag on the play. Could be a holding call. Flag on the field around the 32-yard line.
Holding, offense number 60. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
W&J able to get that consistent pressure. Grove City not able to mimic that 1-2-step drop and get rid of the ball to slow down that pressure, the same as W&J has done to Grove City.
And so we talk about how they load up the box to really stop the run, but also what that doesn't really always mention is that always brings a lot of pass rush. So you don't have a lot of time to just sit back there and actually throw the ball. These guys are having one-on-one coverage on the outside, but you have so much less time to throw. And Sutton Ellis is really feeling that pressure. And now with 1st and 20, you better believe they're sending pressure again.
Here it comes. He gets it away over the middle, in and out of the hands of his receiver. He was trying to connect with Daniel Sullivan, one-on-one coverage and just not able to reel that in.
And that's the type of play that they just have to make. And Sutton Ellis is able to step up in the pocket. He throws a strike right down the middle of the field to Sullivan, who's one of their better receivers for Grove City. And yes, it's a tough catch. Absolutely. It's coming very hard. There's a defender right on your back. Angelo Valmina does a great job of playing through the ball, but that's the type of opportunities that you have to capitalize on if you're a run-heavy team like Grove City is.
So second. It's interesting. We got 3rd and 20 and then 2nd and 20 on the field. Back to pass, looking, has some time. Over the middle and incomplete. His receiver was able to beat the coverage. Sam Penna had a step, but they just can't make the connection. And they continue to try to loosen things up a little bit with the deep ball, but it doesn't seem as though W&J is wanting to go back to that 2-deep coverage in order to soften things up on the inside.
And they just believe in their playmakers. Dante DeRubo on the coverage there. And they're willing to go one-on-one. They're willing for their defenders to be step with them, with their receivers, because they know that they're struggling actually completing the pass. So they're okay with them having more time to throw, more space to throw, but if they can't complete it, they're not going to respect it.
Deep pass, man open, double coverage, and in and out of the hands of Angelo Volumino. He was open, and then all of a sudden it looked as though it was a little underthrown. The defensive backs were able to close, and almost a pick.
And Volumino, we talked about in the last play, coming and breaking through the ball, but he immediately peels off his defender, and you just see that gap close so quickly. If you just, like I said earlier with Ethan Wiley, if you just hang that ball up there just a second too late, those defenders have enough time to really close in, and that gap, that window just closed up so fast.
And now Grove City set the punt one more time. W&J with an opportunity here to go up 31-0 before halftime. And a kick is nearly blocked. It looked as though it may have been deflected. The ball bounces and rolls back for W&J inside the 40-yard line. What a great special teams play for W&J in order to put the pressure on the punter. And now W&J, great field position. And Damon McDermott joining us. Damon, what's the latest out on the sideline?
Yeah, I got some more bad news for this defense. Noah Wheeler has some ice on his elbow, on his wrist. He had a pick six against Cortland, but it looks like tonight, unless something changes, he's going to be out for the rest of the night.
Wow, that's a big loss. Big loss for Grove City, and now they're trying to figure out what they're going to do in order to slow down this President's offense. And they're set spread, 4 wide receivers. Back to pass, Stahl's looking, scrambling, and will ultimately just throw it away. And sometimes that's the best play, right?
Of course. I mean, a turnover is a lot worse than just an incompletion, and Kellen Stahl knows the situation that they're in. You just can't give Grove City anything to really grab onto to go on to halftime with. And at this point, it's kind of, can we push this ball farther enough to get a field goal or maybe even a touchdown? But you just don't want to give Grove City an even chance to come right back.
4 wide receivers set, 3 top, 1 bottom. Stahl back. And Ben Bladel able to knock that pass down because he was looking for Peduzzi on a quick slant route.
And Ben Bladel's, he's Ben Bladel, and he's always going to make his plays. I don't care how much you try to do to neutralize him, but he's always going to do something. And you just see him fly off the edge. You see him in the middle. You see him on the right side. You see him on the left side. You see him drop back in coverage. He's always everywhere. And you can do your best to slow him down, but he's still going to make his plays. And as W&J, you're just going to have to live with that.
He's moved from the right side to the left side of the defensive formation. Back to pass. And trying to make a connection with McCosco, unable to. So a quick 3 and out for W&J. Great field position, unable to capitalize on it. And now they're looking at punting it away back to Grove City.
And that's the Grove City defense that we're accustomed to. Ben Bladel wreaking havoc in the backfield. But then also the secondary has had a tough time getting to a good start today. They're able to make a play through the hands of McCosco. And you can see something a little different coming in the second half. If you can see Grove City just have put together one good drive before the end of this first half.
2:10 to go in the half. And now an extremely important possession for Grove City. Snap back, kick it away. It's a high end over kick. and it looks as though they're going to wave the whole thing off.
We were still in the substitution process. Number 0 from W&J came on late. That's W&J's warning. Replay 4th down.
So normally with late substitutions,
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. 2:10.
You need to give the defense the opportunity to substitute as well.
And so the defense looks at the personnel that the offense is coming onto the field with. So if you substitute late, that's a disadvantage to this defense who can't really adjust to the personnel that they would send out to match it.
Punt away and a fair catch called at the 10-yard line. So Grove City looking to go 90 yards in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And they are looking to be able to just get beyond midfield at this point.
And you just need a good offensive series. It's been a really tough first half for this offense. You already had a quarterback switch. You've seen a lot of promise from your running back, but you're down so much that the running game kind of has to be fizzled out just slightly. So Sutton Ellis, this is a big drive. Get some confidence going in the second half. You just can't get the ball right back to W&J. You need to sustain a drive and also come with the points.
Sutton Ellis 0 for 5 so far this evening. Ethan Wiley 1 of 4 with a pick and sacked twice. Back to pass, no, decides to keep it himself. Runs it over the left side, trying to find some room. Nice little pickup, and we get down to the 2-minute timeout. 24-0. W&J on top of Grove City on JRX Sports.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine, and Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work, to bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
Hey, Ma, where's the dock?
It's in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Today is the day. Let's take a quick look at the weather and traffic. It's a chilly 22 degrees out there, so bundle up. We'll be hanging out all day, so don't forget to stop by and see us, grab some hot chocolate, and support a great cause.
A house is just 4 walls, but a home, that's something more. At Your Town Realty, we don't just work here, we live here. We're small by choice, with deep roots and real relationships that go beyond transactions. And because this city means so much to us, we give back, year after year. It's not about being the biggest, it's about being the one that feels like home. Your Town Realty, locally owned, community grown.
I think this is a model institution. You are a point of pride here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. You understand that going to college is also about what you do after college and making sure you are arming your students with the opportunity to have the skills they need to go out and chart their own path to success in their futures.
You would think the Wolverines would love that moon that's out tonight. But the Wolverines are not howling at it. Instead, the presidents are all about destruction. Beautiful night for football here in Grove City. And now Grove City, 2nd and 7. Quick slant pass and a nice pickup there of a couple of yards. And even though it was a couple of yards, Alex, it was a completion.
It was a completion, absolutely. And you're just going to take what the defense is going to give you. They're going to give you those underneath routes, and they just don't want you to get anything deep, any splash plays.
Another quick slant pass, and this one to number 12, Breck Peacock, and Grove City gets a first down, something they've not seen for a while.
They're going to go quick. They want to run as many plays as they can in this minute and a half.
Pressure coming, scrambling, off to the races he goes. Sutton running off beyond the 40-yard line. Nice run for Sutton Ellis.
That's what he's there for. That's his bread and butter, is he can just take that ball, tuck it, run, and give you an even bigger play.
1:15. Back to pass. Time in the pocket. And nearly intercepted. The officials say, nope, that was a good try, but incomplete pass. Jalen Broxy wasn't even trying to sell that one pretty good. I think he realized it. Just, I can't even do it.
Well, there's no replay.
There's
no replay that can review that. So sometimes if you're a better salesman, you might actually get the call.
So now we're looking at 2nd and 10. Important drive here for Grove City. They need to get some points on the board going into halftime. Something to claim a victory. And that was almost picked off. That one by Angelo Villamino jumping that route.
And Angelo Villamino is not your typical secondary player. He's big, physical, plays linebacker sometimes, is able to step up in the box and make stops in the run game. But he's going to play right in your face the entire time. As a receiver, that's your worst nightmare. Whenever a DB is right up in your face, big, strong, physical, and pushes you around, and make sure you don't get a clean release off the line of scrimmage.
He's up playing press coverage now. Back to pass, looking, and nearly intercepted again. So W&J able to stop Grove City. That one, Carson Laconey with the breakup and nearly a pick. So now W&J gets this ball back after this punt. They'll have a little under a minute to go. What you know of Sirianni, what do you think he does in this possession?
I think he's going to be aggressive. He's going to come out here. He's going to want to throw the ball. He's going to want to put some points on the board. But you're going to see a lot of shorter routes. You're not going to see any deep balls because you just don't want to risk a turnover. But you're going to see what you've seen all day. You're going to see those intermediate short routes, work the middle of the field, and just eventually get out of bounds to really save that clock that you're trying to just get one last score in before the half.
Nice high punt taken at the 23-yard line. So now W&J taking this possession, 56 seconds to go until halftime, up 24-0. You have amazing talent at wide receiver in John Paducci and Jacob McCosco. And Joey Sabato is really showing himself tonight. Makai Evans also available to them when they decide to go to a 4 wide receiver set. And we'll see what Sirianni calls Kellen Stahl and his performance tonight. Just really impressive so far. 253 yards passing. And there's a penalty called.
False start, offense number 15, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, maybe that'll give Sirianni something to complain about at halftime.
I'm sure he will. Because those first down penalties are just killers sometimes. Thankfully, they've been able to convert on a lot of these, but if you want to just elevate yourself to be a better team, you got to eliminate those starting drive penalties.
And now handoff over the left side and a pickup of a couple yards to Andrew Sharp. And it looks as though now that W&J is content to go ahead and let this clock roll out.
Well, man, Gino, I think it was kind of more of that penalty. And I think Coach Sirianni was ready to kind of come out and throw the ball around and try and make a final push. But as soon as you get that penalty, the mentality kind of changed a little bit because, once again, you just don't want to force anything, don't want to force a turnover, don't want to give the ball back. And I think Coach Sirianni is definitely content with the 24-0 lead going into the half.
Stahl comes out, 3 wide receivers, 2 near side, 1 far side, hands it off right up the gut. And look at Sharp trying to make something happen. Tries to bounce it outside, and a swarming defense corrals him, and that will take us to halftime. 24-0 W&J over Grove City, and it couldn't be a better half for Sirianni and the Presidents. It couldn't be a more disappointing half for Coach DiDonato and the Wolverines. And we now go to the sideline, and Damon McDermott has Coach Sirianni right now. Damon?
Coach, great first half. There was a lot of talk about your defense struggling these first 2 weeks. What have you guys changed this week that you guys are shutting out an explosive offense right now?
We're playing hard. I mean, I know as coaches, but it's 0-0. We're 0-2. We got to win the game. We got to finish and win a game. So we're 0-2 to us. We're going in. Okay, you got to come out with the same energy. But our defense is playing real hard right now.
Is there going to be any scheme changes with a change of quarterback for them just to try to spark something?
They're similar. That kid runs a little bit more, so we were to look for the run a little bit more. It looks like they're going to get into some more spread sets, so we got to maybe adjust this a little bit.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you very much, Damon and Sirianni. Business as usual. And he's up 24-0. He's talking like he's losing 24-0.
Like you said, he's 0-2, right? Can't be complacent yet.
So it is halftime in Grove City. 24-0. W&J on top of Grove City. Halftime coming up next on JRM Sports.
Pittsburgh, get ready to see PPG Pace Arena like never before. PPG Pace Arena tours take you behind the scenes of the home of the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is your chance to step inside the Penguins locker room and feel the history of the 5-time Stanley Cup champs. See the ice from a player's point of view and go where legendary broadcasters called the biggest moments in Penguins history. From championship stories to behind-the-scenes secrets, this tour is the ultimate Penguins experience. Visit ppgpacearena.com and book your tour today.
Miller's Mini Storage has the extra room you need. For more than 3 decades, our storage facility in Elizabeth, PA has offered secure, affordable, and accessible storage solutions. Miller's Mini Storage has you covered. Simply bring a lock and key and keep your items safe at our location. New insulated units are available with dawn to dusk access. Storing with us is easy and convenient. Visit millersministorage.com today and reserve your space. Miller's Mini Storage, your space, your way.
Trout Plumbing is a registered and insured master plumber that services the South Hills. They offer a variety of services including camera inspection and dye testing. Trout Plumbing also offers a veteran and senior citizen discount. When in doubt, call the Trout at 412-983-8106.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
From heating and cooling to a large array of construction equipment, Herc Rentals has the gear you need to get the job done. Herc Rentals is already a staple in several communities across the United States and Canada and have been serving our customers' needs since 1965. With a catalog of equipment that spans the spectrum of almost every kind of solution you can think of. To learn more about Herc Rentals, visit hercrentals.com or call us at 1-888-777-2700.
We're back, and what a surprising score in this first half. Washington and Jefferson is up 24-0 against Grove City. Real quick, we're going to go to Austin Bechtold at Pack Media Day. He had to sit down and talk to Jack Jolie at Grove City, one of the guys that has to come up big here in the second half for this comeback.
You're watching our President's Athletic Conference Game of the Week. Austin Bechtold joined alongside Grove City linebacker Jack Jolie. And Jack, this has been a program that has had so much success over the last 3 years. You talked about it a little bit with everyone at PAC Media Day, how this is a program that went from 0-33 to 10-0 to winning the President's Athletics Conference back-to-back years. Why have you been why did you want to be a part of the program first and foremost, and why do you think you've been a big part of this success?
So coming out of high school,
I was recruited some Division II, some Division I's. And when I was looking at schools, I was looking first and foremost for great team culture. And that's truly what I found at Grove City is our head coach, Coach DiDonato, an incredible human being. And it was more than just football. Coming to Grove City and playing football, it wasn't just, hey, let's be a great football player for 4 years and then you're on your own. No, he's developing me as a young man and all the other players as young men, as well as becoming great football players. So coming out of high school, it was truly awesome to choose to come to Grove City ultimately. And then as my experiences come, I've had an incredible experience at Grove City, and Coach DiDonato has truly changed my life and everything that I say and do through my walk in faith and through my leadership capabilities that he has been able to teach me. And in Grove City, I've fortunately been able to make a decent impact on our football team, been able to start the past 2 years, going on my 3rd year as a starter, and just being a positive role model to the young men on our football team. How can I just truly elevate them and not think so much of myself, but to make others around me better too?
So 2 of the things that Coach DiDonato talks about, one right here on the helmet, brick by brick, and the other, focus on your vision, not your circumstance.
Yeah.
Take us behind those words that really become reality.
I mean, brick by brick, it's the number one thing you probably hear, and you see these bricks, and some teams might tease us about it, but it's truly a way of life for us. Every single year, we're learning from our past experiences, from someone who I've learned from, Parker Kilgore. When I came in as a freshman, he was our senior linebacker, trying to learn and develop through him and use these people as examples. Coach Dito always pulls up different people throughout practices who we can learn from each day. And hey, what does it look like to do this? Hey, let's watch this guy right here. Let's watch Parker Kilgore as an example for me. And for future references for other people, maybe they'll be looking at me. So brick by brick just keeps going. Hey, how can I learn from you? How can I learn from you? And how can I learn from the guys behind me? And focus on your vision, not your circumstances, kind of the main phrase in our program. And that is truly just being focused on what we are best at, why we exist as a program, and not the things around us. It's natural in daily life for circumstances to come up, but can you persevere? Can you put that behind you? Can you put the blinders on and look forward and focus on why you are there? Focus on the why and not the what you are doing.
Just hearing you talk, Jack, you just ooze confidence and leadership. Is this something that you've always had, or was it instilled in you in a young age from your parents?
I would say my father has tried to instill that in me from a young age. But, I mean, throughout high school, I was fortunate enough to have leadership roles in the same. So developing that confidence and the ability to speak has come up through high school and even college. And a big shout out to my high school speech and debate teacher, Mrs. Marinsland. She helped me in my speech and my public speaking. So shout out to her because she doesn't get enough credit for that.
We're talking to Grove City senior linebacker Jack Jolly. So, Jack, your football journey, how did it begin and how has it progressed to the point that you're in now?
I mean, it began, I think I started playing football when I was in 3rd grade for Penn Trafford. That's the high school that I went to. And I've played all different positions, from O-line to corner to safety. And I played all sports growing up. And when I got into high school, we said we got to focus on football. So I was able to focus on football. And then eventually came to Grove City, was very successful in high school alongside a lot of other players and incredible coaches that I've been fortunate enough to learn from. And in Grove City, we've had some tremendous success over the past 2 years, winning a PAC championship in back-to-back years, and we're looking to do that again this year.
And Grove City's done a really good job of being able to recruit the Whippeal.
Yeah.
You're from it, so many others, Ben Bladel, many others on the team. I mean, you just look throughout the roster. What is it like going from high school and playing against some of those guys to now being on the same team with them? And it's also maybe some of your guys at Penn Trafford that you also play for other teams.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I remember me and Ben, we played in the Whippeal Championship in high school, and there might have been a little bad blood at first, but we're good friends now. But it is kind of cool to match up with some of those people. Our fullback, Anthony Burnett, I played against him in high school, but we're real good friends now. And then I get to play against some of my best friends, and Jake Otto over at Case Western and Garrett Moorhead, who I played with in high school. So there's definitely a lot of different players who I get to play against that I played with in high school, and it's a unique experience definitely playing against those guys in high school, but now playing with them.
There's been a ton of great moments that you've been able to experience at Grove City. Can you pick a favorite, and if so, what is it?
I mean, it's just, I'd say my favorite moment was definitely winning a PAC championship my sophomore year, because that was like the, hey, we did it moment. Like, this is why we exist as a program, to win PAC championships. And to fulfill that was truly incredible.
What do you want your legacy to be at Grove City once you graduate?
I mean, I just want to be known as a leader, someone who went out there and tried to lead men more than anything else. Not necessarily, oh, this guy was a great football player. I hope people know me as a good football player, but I want to be known as a better person than I was a football player.
Finally, to your friends and family that are watching, what would you like to say to them?
Thank you for everybody who's come up and helped coach me throughout. Coach Ruane, my high school coach, my strength coach back at home, Coach Tyler Zimmer. I love you, man. And just thank you to everybody who's been on my journey throughout this process.
Jack Jolly, he brings the spirit for Grove City.
Thank you.
Good luck this year, Jack.
Thank you.
You're watching KDK+.
From heating and cooling to a large array of construction equipment, Herc Rentals has the gear you need to get the job done. Herc Rentals is already a staple in several communities across the United States and Canada and have been serving our customers' needs since 1965. With a catalog of equipment that spans the spectrum of almost every kind of solution you can think of. To learn more about Herc Rentals, visit hercrentals.com or call us at 1-888-777-2700.
Complicated payment processing slowing you down? Tired of the same old event management system? Wishing your donation campaigns could run themselves? We can help. Whether you're with a corporation, EMS agency, fire department, school, or small business, eServices Payment Technology has something for you. What started as a top-notch payment processing system has turned into a digital phenomenon. Digital payments, membership management, fund drive optimization, marketing consulting, and reserved seating. Yes, schools, I'm talking to you. If you have a payment, we have a simplified process. Visit eServicesStack.com today to organize your organization.
Pittsburgh, get ready to see PPG Pace Arena like never before. PPG Pace Arena tours take you behind the scenes of the home of the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is your chance to step inside the Penguins locker room and feel the history of the 5-time Stanley Cup champs. See the ice from a player's point of view and go where legendary broadcasters told the biggest moments in Penguins history. From championship stories to behind-the-scenes secrets, this tour is the ultimate Penguins experience. Visit ppgpacearena.com and book your tour today.
A house is just 4 walls, but a home, that's something more. At Your Town Realty, we don't just work here, we live here. We're small by choice, with deep roots and real relationships that go beyond transactions. And because this city means so much to us, we give back, year after year. It's not about being the biggest, it's about being the one that feels like home. Your Town Realty, locally owned, community grown.
Stay connected with all the action. Follow JRM Sports on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Get the latest highlights, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes moments from your favorite sports. Don't miss a second. Follow us today.
We're back here in Grove City with the band playing in the background. We're almost ready for the second half. But first, the top 5 plays of the week in the pack from our very own Ethan Spazarski.
back into the studio. I'm Ethan Spazarski, and I've been told we have 2 minutes, so I'm thinking the speedrun rendition of this week's top 5 plays. Let's get into it. Starting out with the number 5 play, where we got Calucci to Baraducci out in the flat for an 11-yard receiving pass touchdown for Alleghany's first score of their game versus Geneva. Next up, the number 4 play, we have Baraducci. He passes out to Devin Larry, who tips it to himself and then hauls it in for the catch for a solid 21-yard reception. For the number 3 play this week, Chris Downs, who gets the call on a 63-yard touchdown pass here by junior quarterback Jake Phillips. The number 2 play is going to not only stay here in Beaver Falls, but stay with the same quarterback wide receiver duo. Phillips 2 downs again. This time it's a 55-yard touchdown pass, but he makes a nice move on the diving tackler to create separation. That's Downs' 6th touchdown this season. However, the Bearcats did end up losing 55-35. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, the number 1 play around the PAC this week belongs to Marcus Crum Jr. This wasn't just his first, but second interception of the game, and it comes at a time of importance, with this interception securing not only Waynesburg's first conference win, but first win of the season. That's going to cap off this week's rendition of Top 5 Plays. I appreciate you all, as always, for watching. I'm Ethan Spazarski saying so long, folks. Make sure to come back next week, same time, same place, for more Top 5 Plays around the PAC.
We're back here again. A surprising scoreline. Washington Jefferson is up 27-0. Guys, maybe we get a thrilling second half finish. What are your thoughts?
I'm not sure about thrilling. I tell you what, I'd like to have both of these teams come out and play as though the score is 0-0 and see what they can do at this point. But it sure seems as though it's WMJ's game.
Of course, and that all stems from the quarterbacks. And with WMJ, we have 253 yards passing from Kellen Stahl, and then between Ethan Wiley and Sutton Ellis, they got a total of 15 yards. That is such a big difference that I don't care what team you are. If you have that big of a difference, then the matchup's going to be one-sided. Right now, with 24-0 in favor of WMJ, we kind of see that.
And even with the running game, you expect so much out of Grove City with the running game. Ian Tamari rushed for a total of 86 yards, but 49 of them were in that first drive. You take away that one run, and he's only averaging a little over 3 yards a carry at this point. They just don't seem to be really firing at all on offense at this point.
And that's the first downs, too. And WJ is really sustaining those drives, had 15 first downs on the day to Grove City's 5. But also it's the red zone, and we talked about that in our keys earlier today. And WJ's 4 for 4 whenever they're in the red zone, they score. And Grove City's only been in the red zone once, and they're 0 for 1. So you really see that big of a difference, and putting the ball in the end zone and getting points on the board has been the big difference.
Yes, absolutely. And you'll go back and you look at some of the scoring from the first half, and it's all going to be about WNJ, and it starts with this pick. And then they're able to convert this into a field goal to go up 3-0. And then at that point, the floodgates open up, and it's all about sixes here with big catch and run in for Stahl, and then another pass, and then yet another pass. This one, toss over the middle to McCosco, able to go ahead and get that. And then that first pass was to Sharp, and then Stahl here is seeing things open up for him. Instead of dumping it off, decides to just walk it right in, able to get the touchdown. And Stahl is looking absolutely fantastic. You were talking about the quarterback play. He's 18 of 28, 2 touchdowns, long of 46. He's rushed for a touchdown. He is really coming into his own.
And that's the type of player you need to run this offense. You need a guy that spreads the ball around, but also can run the football himself and when he's given the opportunity. And we see in the run game, Andrew Sharp, but Kellen Stahl being able to do it on the ground game as well is big for them.
The second half kickoff is next on JRM Sports.
Stay connected with all the action. Follow JRM Sports on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Get the latest highlights, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes moments from your favorite sports. Don't miss a second. Follow us today.
If you need insurance, you need an agency that's sharp. The Sharp Insurance Agency is an independent agency and distinguish themselves by providing face-to-face customer service and reviewing coverage to provide the best possible value for their clients.
Hi, I'm Mike Sharp. Lean on my years of experience in the Pittsburgh area to find you the best insurance coverage, because when insurance companies compete, you win.
The Sharp Insurance Agency. Contact us today to have your personal or business insurance professionally reviewed.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Trout Plumbing is a registered and insured master plumber that services the South Hills. They offer a variety of services, including camera inspections and dye testing. Trout Plumbing also offers a veteran and senior citizen discount. When in doubt, call the Trout at 412-983-8106.
20, 15, 10, walk in, touchdown. High pass is caught. He's got it. What a play. And it's a foot race.
And we are back for the second half kickoff. Grove City kicking off the W&J. If you recall, W&J won the toss and deferred to the second half. And now looking to be able to blow this game even further open with this offense that has been outstanding so far this evening. Kick is away, it's high, and it's deep to the 2. Turn up the right side and out over the 20. And that's about it. So you got to wonder about halftime adjustments. On the offensive side of the ball for W&J, what do you see Sirianni doing differently? What's he going to tweak at this point?
Nothing. I really don't think he's going to adjust anything. And I think that's probably for the best, because the first drive out of halftime is really important, because you try to do too much, right? You get stopped, you give some momentum to the Grove City. Like, everything that worked in the first half, you should at least try again to start the second half and see if they really adjusted. If you try to kind of outcoach the other team, it sometimes can kind of confuse your team. You see what's working, you're at least going to come out in the second half and just go right back to what was been working and see if they adjusted already.
And now for Grove City, this is where the real adjustments are going to take place. What do you do at this point in trying to bring some pressure on Kellen Stahl, who's been fantastic? Quick slant pattern once again, this time to McCosco, able to pick up about 5 yards on that play. So they are going back to what they were doing in that first half and saying, listen, are you going to make the adjustment? We'll just go ahead and make our adjustments in the third quarter based upon what you decide to do on defense.
Well, I think WJ really wants Grove City to adjust. And I think they want them to play up in the secondary and let them throw the ball over their heads.
Stahl slant pattern once again, off to the races. Nice run by number 4, Joey DeSabato, on a quick slant pattern over the middle.
And that's that easy pitch and catch. But it's also Joey DeSabato just making a play at the end of it to really extend it into a splash play is what we call it. So he gets it, right, able to make a man miss, and just immediately burst up the field for even more. And already almost approaching half field for the Presidents that definitely are not slowing down at all.
And a handoff out to the outside, trying to make a man miss, does, and able to get back to the line of scrimmage. What a great run by Andrew Sharp, and trying to make a couple of men miss, and he does. Jack Jolly had him behind the line of scrimmage for a good 3-4 yard loss, but was able to jump right over him.
And Sharp just almost clears the defender here and almost falls over, but still puts his left foot in the ground, is able to extend it, and somehow getting stopped 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage is able to get a positive gain of 1.
So back, pressure coming, stepping up, throws it, has McCosco, first down pickup inside the 40-yard line, down around the 37, and Double J picking up right where they left off in the first half. And there's
officials timeout for an injured defensive player.
Bowden Davidson, the senior outside linebacker, down on the field for Grove City as the trainers come out and tend to him. All right. And so Grove City really can't afford to lose any of their starters on defense. He is an integral part of being able to try to slow down this W&J defense.
And they already lost Noah Wheeler earlier today, and already losing a big piece of your secondary, and then another senior, Bowden Davidson, goes down and has to sit out for a play or two. And for a team that's already struggling on defense, to lose 2 starters, it's a big deal, and it's something that WJ is definitely going to take advantage of through the air right now.
And that's just the way football is played. You find a weak spot, whatever causes it, and you go and exploit it. Stahl, shotgun, rolls out to his right, pressure's coming, finds a man, complete. The Sabato one more time inside the 30-yard line. This sophomore has been showing Sirianni he's worthy of more and more play time. Great young hands.
Exactly, and you know that Peduzzi and McCosker are seniors, and you really need someone to just fill into that role. And like you said, young talent, Joe DeSabato just really showing us what he can do, and we're looking to see if he could be the future of this receiver corps.
Stahl keeps it himself on the fake handoff down inside the 15-yard line. That was a great play action. He was faked it to Andrew Sharp, and everybody bid on it, and he was open on the outside.
And that's that read. You see the defensive end crash down, and then he'll just pull it, and he'll just have nobody in front of him. Unless the linebackers are pursuing quick enough, there's always going to be a hole there.
Stahl out to McCosker, wide receiver screen, and Grove City was able to wrap that one up. No gain on that one. That actually looked like it may have been the first pass that really wasn't a nice pickup of about 5 minimum yards for W&J so far.
And that's just a really good tackle on the outside.
Stahl decides to keep it himself, tries to find some room. Can't, makes one man miss and gets inside the 15-yard line. So now a 3rd and 9, they're going to call it. And what's a 3rd and 9 like inside the red zone? Does the down and distance make that much of a difference here?
Well, inside the red zone, the defensive backs don't really have to worry about giving up the deep ball because they're able to play those man coverages. You're going to see a lot more man, a lot less zone in the red zone because there's a lot less room to cover. And so you're going to see there's going to be a little bit more underneath stuff, trying to get someone underneath to really break a tackle.
Stahl, corner. Is he going to get a flag? No. Was going for McCosker and incomplete. So a little disappointing for Sirianni. He wants touchdowns inside the red zone, but there's an opportunity to walk away with points still.
Exactly, and you see the score. Everyone knows that Grove City has to do a lot to catch up, but being able to put this team away at the start of the second half is really, really important. And a touchdown really could have done that.
Right now, it's a 3-touchdown game with 2-point conversions. And now this field goal, if it's good, by Devin Wyatt, turns it into a 4-score game. The kick is up, and it is good. So now W&J up 27-0 on Grove City. And now we're looking at a Grove City desperation effort to try to come back in this game. We'll find out what they draw up next on JRM Sports.
Timeout.
20, 15, 10, lock in, touchdown. High pass is caught. He's got it. What a play. And it's a foot race.
Now is the time. Today is the day for us to strike out and move forward in confidence and faith.
Miller's Mini Storage has the extra room you need. For more than 3 decades, our storage facility in Elizabeth, PA has offered secure, affordable, and accessible storage solutions. Miller's Mini Storage has you covered. Simply bring a lock and key and keep your items safe at our location. New insulated units are available with dawn to dusk access. Storing with us is easy and convenient. Visit millersministorage.com today and reserve your space. Miller's Mini Storage, your space, your way.
This Saturday, tune in to Sportsnet Pittsburgh for D3 college football.
as the Geneva Golden Tornadoes host the Grove City Wolverines in Beaver Falls. PAC football this Saturday at 7:30, only on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
And now W&J up 27-0, and there is blood in the water for the Presidents. And we were just talking during the break. You think at this point Sirianni continues to move this ball along and not take his foot off the pedal at all?
And I think it's Sirianni really needs to make a statement win with this team, and starting off the season a little rough, 0-2, but they need a statement win, and right now they're making it, and they're going to keep making it.
Kickoff return out to about the 24-yard line. So Grove City now looking for something that can make some sense, something to help them move this ball along. And it looks as though they are going to continue here with some struggles on offense. Sean Ellis, just 2 of 10 for 8 yards. Ethan Wiley, 1 of 4 for a total of 7 yards. And now it looks as though it is Ellis and a quarterback. Ellis and quarterback, and a handoff to DeMary. Able to get out to about the 26-yard line, pickup of about 3, which once again is what he's averaging since that big run that he had early in the first quarter.
And he had that, like you said, that really large run in the first half and the first play from scrimmage. And then you just thought that this team was just going to run all day long, and they still have run a lot of plays, but they just really haven't gotten the compliment from the pass game. And that's when you have a run game this good, you need that compliment to help you on third down. And right now they haven't been getting that from the quarterback position.
Sutton Ellis, shotgun. Throws it over the middle, has a man wide open, and through the hands and drop Anthony Brunette. Just not able to come down with that. He was off to the races if he could have caught that ball.
And that plays perfect for the scenario. Your fullback down the seam, and that's a great ball by Sutton Ellis, and that's probably his best pass all week. And he throws it right on the money. Anthony Burnett just has to come down with that football. And like you said, he's just off to the races because there was nobody in front of him when he first caught that ball.
And now Sutton Ellis in a 3rd and 7. Back to pass, looking, pressure's coming. He's going down for a sack. W&J now just absolutely dominating the line of scrimmage when they go back to pass, giving him no time. If he's not able to release the ball quickly, he finds Aiden Thomas and Nathaniel Kadosh Harris and Tyler Primrose in his face consistently.
And like you said, Aiden Thomas was the first guy to meet Sutton Ellis in the pocket and just grabs around his waist and just does not let go. And just puts his body weight down to the ground. And this defensive line for W&J has really stepped up. Tyler Primrose, Aiden Thomas, Nathaniel Kadosh Harris. Like, this is the upperclassmen that you needed to help you out.
And the punter went down on the kick, but it looks as though the officials are going to let them go ahead and play through. I don't see a flag back there. So they're going to let it play through, and W&J has it now. 1st and 10, they're inside Grove City territory.
And that could have been something that would have given them life again. Try to go for the block. Definitely a little bit of contact there with the punter. I am actually really surprised they didn't throw a flag there.
How about this little stat? W&J, with Mike Sirianni as head coach, if they're leading at halftime, 152-6 overall. So now, W&J has it, leading 27-0. 9:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Cullen Stahl overlooking the defense. Set up deep. Quick toss out to the outside, looking for some room. He has it on a dead sprint to the 25, inside the 20-yard line, and finally knocked out of bounds. Kobe DeRosa, we've not called his number much tonight, but he's making his statement with that run right there.
And we talked about Andrew Sharp all day long and how he's making people miss. But this pitch gets out just in time for Kobe DeRosa to make a play with it. And that's just great blocking on the outside by the offensive line. And Kobe DeRosa just showing why this Presidents team means business today.
They're back in the red zone once again. DeRosa in motion, Stahl decides to keep it, and he's not going anywhere. Jolly in there on the stop along with Jordan Karczewski, the senior, 6'4", 265 out of Monaca. He played at Central Valley, and he was able to get a big stop, and actually a stop for a loss of 1. Stahl now, shotgun. DeRosa on his left hip. Play action, rolls, throws it, has a man. McCosco has it inside the 15-yard line. Nice pickup on that play. And now we have some decisions that have to get made. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. And clearly within field goal range, but now it's about what to draw.
Exactly, third medium here. You have a lot to work with. I'm just looking to see if they're going to utilize Peduzzi in the slot here and try and see if they can get him open across the field.
In motion, rolling, pass. McCosco has it again inside the 10-yard line. Looks as though that's good enough for a 1st and goal. Are they going to give him the 1st down? Yes, they are. McCosco's been fantastic so far tonight. 13 receptions, 173 yards, and a touchdown.
And they just give him the ball a lot. And when you catch the ball as much as he does, you just become that consistent, solid target that a quarterback just always seems to gravitate towards.
Peduzzi in the slot. Stahl takes it, hands it off. DeRosa has it over the right side, plowing forward, won't go down inside the 5-yard line, down near the 2. They're going to call him down at the 3. He runs hard too.
Oh, of course. It seems like every single ball carrier on this team just finds a way to get forward. And Kobe DeRosa and Andrew Sharp are the same way.
Kobe DeRosa, inside handoff. Does he get into the end zone? No, just short inside the 1.
And as soon as I said that, Kobe DeRosa gets stood up at the goal line. But that Grove City defense on that play was just ready for anything that they got. And Kobe DeRosa comes straight forward, and he's going to meet a defender right before the goal line. But that's just a perfect tackling if you're Caleb Brubaker. And he had the low man wins in that scenario. In that case, that was Brubaker.
Wildcat formation. DeRosa and Sharp. DeRosa keeps it. Does he get over the top? He does. Touchdown. Kobe DeRosa from the Wildcat. They go up 33-0.
I guess if you can't go through the defense, you just got to get over top. And all that push in the interior, he jumps over with one arm and reaches across. A little bit of a dangerous play, but as long as that ball just crosses that plane, that's going to count no matter if he holds on to that ball or not.
What a performance offensively tonight for WNJ. Stahl once again, 25 of 36 for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, rush for another. And now Kobe DeRosa puts his name in the hat for touchdown of the night. 34-0. It's all WNJ on JRM Sports.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
I think this is a model institution. You are a point of pride here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. You understand that going to college is also about what you do after college and making sure you are arming your students with the opportunity to have the skills they need to go out and chart their own path to success in their futures.
This Friday, the Steelers High School Showcase, presented by Giant Eagle and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, features the South Fayette Lions taking on the Upper St. Clair Panthers. Friday night at 7 on KDKA+.
Coach DiDonato has to be wondering what's going on, because even though he lost handily to Mount Union, they really genuinely believe they had a lot to build on, realizing that Mount Union is just who they are, the consistent number 2 team, number 1 team in the country. And they thought that they were really set up with that early difficult schedule to be able to come into the President's Athletic Conference and begin play this week. And they're down 34-0 in the third quarter. Kick return to the 20, 25, and not a whole lot more than that. And what do you do at this point when you're down 34-0? And what do you talk about? What do coaches oftentimes bring up? What are they trying to accomplish now at this point in the game?
And so right now, if you're Grove City, you're trying to just zoom out from what is happening in this game and trying to figure out, well, there's going to be multiple weeks after this. This is the first week of PAC play. Well, who's going to be our quarterback down the road? Who's going to be our starters on offense? How are we going to figure out our troubles on offense and how we're going to fix it? And so I think that's more what the focus is now, and kind of zooming out of what the score is of this game and just taking it one play at a time instead.
Sutton Ellis back to pass, pressure's coming. And is it incomplete? It is. Ball to the ground. Sutton Ellis and Ethan Wiley, just no time at all night long.
And we've seen a couple throws, especially from Sutton Ellis, and we saw in that last offensive series to Burnett in the seam, and like the opportunities have been there. And there's been a couple good throws from both these quarterbacks. It's just none of them have connected. And it's usually either the receiver doesn't catch it, or the ball's slightly out of place, or the defender makes a good play on the ball.
Quick slant pattern and a quick stop. The ball caught and taken down. Sam Penna with the reception. And 3rd and long once again for Grove City. And right now you just want a first down, right?
What's that?
Just give me a first down.
Yeah, of course. And you just really need to convert on this and give yourself something to stand on.
Trying to get W&J to jump. No flags. Ellis overlooking the defense. Play clock down to 1. They got the play off. Deep pass. Completion. Yes. Best play of the night. Sutton Ellis to Daniel Sullivan.
And this play was so weird because Sullivan didn't even know the ball was snapped. The ball was in Sutton Ellis' hands before Sullivan even made a play to go down the field. And so Angelo Volumino one-on-one on the outside with Sullivan. Sullivan able to just reach out, and that's a good placed ball by Sutton Ellis. And we've seen the opportunities have been there, and we see that first opportunity get cashed in.
They're at midfield. Back to pass, pressure's coming, steps up, over the middle, has a man, caught, touchdown, Grove City. Sam Penna deep over the middle from Sutton Ellis in order to make that completion, and finally Grove City on the board.
This is a great play by Sutton Ellis, and the arm talent's been there, and he just makes and throws that ball beautifully right down the seam to Sam Penna, who just had to step on Carson Laconia the entire time.
And you got to wonder if this forces W&J to back off a little bit and get it out of that zero coverage they've been playing so far tonight. Kick is up, and it is good. It is 34-7. Now Grove City with their first score of the night. Alex, what did you see here?
And so what you're going to see is Sam Penna is going to take this deep post right down the sideline. Right down the middle of the field. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to isolate Carson Laconia here on the inside. And as soon as that ball snapped and you play it, you're going to see that he just gets a great release off the line of scrimmage. And as soon as he gets Carson Laconia to step to the right side instead of the left side, and once again, that throw makes that play. And Sutton Ellis just makes that play. And that's what you need to see from your quarterback if you're Grove City.
He just got just enough time to be able to get that play off too.
And you just notice on that play is Sutton Ellis hitches up in the pocket, which means that he just pushes his feet up slightly so he can get his base set, and then he really unloads that arm. And had so much more velocity, and it was such more on a line drive than we've seen as those rainbow passes earlier in the first half.
And you got to be wondering, and I'm sure they are on the sideline, why didn't we draw something like this up earlier and give them an opportunity here? Because with that coverage that W&J's been giving, some of these deep balls have been available to them.
And that's just what they were willing to live with in the first half. And W&J, we saw always playing up, always forcing them to throw the ball.
The return to the 15 will not make it to the 20-yard line. So W&J, maybe some of the worst field position to start so far tonight. A little over 80 yards to go for a score in this third quarter.
Well, if you're Coach Sirianni, you're daring Grove City to throw the ball deep all day long. You're daring them. You're going to load up the box. You're going to stop the run game. You're just daring them all day long. And finally, they complete one. One big event happens. That doesn't mean you change everything you do as W&J. You have the lead. You build a good lead in the first half, and your offense has been doing well. They made a really good play. You move on, and then you keep doing what you're doing over the course of the second half. And if they do it multiple times, then you adjust.
34-7. Still up by 27 here in the third. Inside handoff. Out to the outside. Grove City defense feeling some motivation off of that touchdown. Swarming there. Pickup of just one for W&J.
And you heard this crowd after that Daniel Sullivan catch right before the big touchdown. This crowd's into it. There's enough people here that they can really bring the spark back. And Grove City just looking for something else to really grab onto and have this crowd get back on their side.
Man in motion. Out to the flat. And Grove City once again figuring out a way of being able to get some containment on that one. Pickup of just maybe 1, 2 at the most on that. Third and long for W&J. This is a position that the Presidents haven't been in very much tonight.
Exactly, and this is a huge turning point. If you're W&J, you can really put the last punch and throw it at this very end of this third quarter. You can just convert this third down. But if you don't get this Grove City crowd is going to be higher than ever.
And you can hear this Grove City crowd. They've stuck around. They didn't give up on this team. Back to pass looking. And not enough for a first down pickup. Peduzzi got it, but not able to bust the tackle. So now a fourth down. And now W&J needs to punt this away. And Grove City feels as though there's something to play for right now. Granted, they're still down 4 touchdowns. But there's something to play for in this game.
And you're kind of just hoping that after Sutton Ellis throws that big touchdown that he can do it again. And the hardest thing to do is to do something well twice. You do it well one time, it's great. But can you do it multiple times? Can you replicate it? Can you be consistent? And it's going to take a lot of consistency if you want to get back in here.
Pressure on the punt, got it away. Taken at the 35. Makes a man miss to the 40. And finally drugged down at the 43. Here comes a flag. The officials will figure this out. I couldn't tell who it was on. Maybe a holding penalty. And this could be huge either way, couldn't it?
And it's going to go against the Presidents.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, kicking team. 15-yard penalty will be added from the end of the run. First down, Grove City.
And so what you're going to see now is just little snowballs that are eventually going to make one big avalanche. And you just see the big touchdown, the big grab, good stop on defense, then that penalty that puts you on the plus side of the field. It's going to get worse and worse if you just keep letting these small things happen if you're W&J.
It looks as though W&J is playing a little bit different in defense at this point. We'll see what ultimately pans out. Sutton Ellis back to pass, has a man over the middle, double coverage. Intercepted in the end zone. Intercepted by number 9, Dante DeRubo, coming down with a big interception. All of a sudden, those snowballs start melting.
Well, they ran the exact same play that they scored the touchdown on. They ran Sampana on that deep post, across the field. Sutton Ellis has a chance to step up in the pocket. But this time, Dante DeRubo was right there. And they weren't going to let it get beat twice on the exact same play. And then DeRubo just going to wave bye to the crowd after sealing that big interception.
What it looked like to me, too, was that as he was running under the ball, he slowed down a little bit to make sure that the Grove City receiver couldn't get to it, that he was the only one who was going to make a play on that ball.
Exactly. You high point the football and usually come down with it.
So now, Kellen Stahl, 2:25 to go in the third quarter. And now a reset for the Presidents. What do? Stahl decides to keep it himself, tries to get outside, and the defense just not letting him do that. Big stop. Jack Jolly out there. They just continue. One of the things that's interesting about Grove City, no give up.
Never. And we see that this team always plays hard, and there's a reason why this team was ranked and is ranked. And it's going to be tough to come back from this game, but this is still something to build off of, and this is still a process. It's still a long season, and just because not everything's working in your favor doesn't mean you can stop trying.
Play clock under 10 seconds. Stahl gets a snap, rolls to his right, pressure's coming, makes a man miss, and nearly intercepted. Wow, that was so close. Mason Klaus almost able to make that interception, and that could have flipped things back around one more time.
You're right, and it could have been. Mason Klaus makes a great read. That's a little underthrown ball by Kellen Stahl, who's trying to throw that deep corner to Peduzzi. Just kind of, that's a great play by Mason Klaus, but if you want to get back in this ball game, those are the type of plays you have to make. And I know that they're not high percentage catches, but you still got to come down with it.
Pressure coming, stands in the pocket, deflected and almost intercepted. Great defensive play by Caleb Brubaker from his linebacker position, dropping back in coverage and forcing W&J to a 3-and-out, unable to capitalize on that big interception in the end zone.
And Stahl's still trying to work the middle of the field, but there's a lot of red jerseys around that football. And Brubaker is one of those guys that can kind of clog up the lane a little bit and just put his hands up and just try and make that window as small as he possibly can make it. And Grove City's going to get the ball back again. They've been aggressive this half so far, but what they need to do is keep capitalizing on those opportunities that they're given.
Kick is away, and an end-over-end kick taken at the 40 by Danino. Out over the 45, 50. Has a couple of blocks inside the 45-yard line of W&J. And so there's continuing this desire, this effort to dig down deep to try to find some energy within in order to start clawing your way back into this game.
And something to note about Grove City is just the kick returns and the punt returns. And their returns have had a ton of help, and they've also been averaging a ton on their returns. And once again, they're right back at where they threw the pick on the way down the end zone to Penna. And we'll see what they do now. Similar field position. You only lost a minute or so because of all the incomplete passes and all the stops that you got on defense. We'll see how keep
them of almost every kind of solution you can think of. To learn more about Herc Rentals, visit hercrentals.com or call us at 1-888-777-2700.
This Friday, the Steelers High School Showcase, presented by Giant Eagle and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, features the South Bay Lions taking on the Upper St. Clair Panthers. Friday night at 7 on KDKA+.
This Saturday, tune in to Sportsnet Pittsburgh for D3 college football as the Geneva Golden Tornadoes host the Grove City Wolverines in Beaver Falls. PAC football this Saturday at 7:30, only on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
We are back for the fourth quarter. Grove City not wanting to give up, fighting to the very end. They are now in the red zone. They've been riding Ian DeMary to this point, and he's in the backfield. And they hand it off. He bounces to the right side And a nice pickup once again, able to get 6 as he continues to plow forward. And finally, that offensive line that averages around 290, 295, able to get a bit of a push.
But this next play has kind of just been the story of today. DeMary sets you up really nicely. He's got a lot of good runs, gets you a lot of positive games on first and second. You got third and short. What are you going to do with it? Sutton Ellis, this is on him. He's really got to find one of his receivers and get a first down to move the chains.
Sutton Ellis, play action, looking, scrambling, trying to find a player in the end zone, intercepted in the end zone. No, incomplete. Boy, it sure looked like he caught that, and it ultimately falls to the ground, and Grove City has the opportunity here to get one more down, 4th and 4.
4th down. You got to go for it. Down 34-7. Sutton Ellis trying to make something happen. Almost make something happen, which would be an interception.
Great defensive play. Sam Penna became a defensive back, or that would have been another pick in the end zone. Sutton Ellis. Back, looking, quick pass, and batted down. W&J stands. Big defensive performance. Number 30, Brock Sherman, leads the team in tackles. Just an all-in-all standout defensive player for W&J. Breaks up that pass.
And that's just that relentless pursuit. And you know Sutton Ellis wanted to tuck that ball and run if he couldn't find somebody. But that pass rush has been so dominant today. So many sacks, getting to the quarterback, a lot of pressures, and not letting these quarterbacks get comfortable for Grove City at all. And they really haven't been able to find a rhythm. It doesn't matter what these receivers are doing. They just don't have any time to throw the ball.
Sherman, 6 tackles on the night, 4 of them solo. And just showing himself to be a great defensive player for W&J and stepping up when they needed him the most. And now W&J has it. 1st and 10. Handoff. DeRosa over the left side. Plows into some defensive players and able to get up to about a 3-yard gain. Kobe DeRosa really performing well in that drive where ultimately was the Kobe DeRosa show to get that touchdown as he leaped over the offensive line to get the 6. You got to wonder, is it now time to really focus on the run and get this game wrapped up?
And you're going to see a lot of first, second down runs for W&J, but I still think if you got third down, they're going to throw the ball because they still want to extend the drive. There's 13 and a half minutes left in this 4th quarter. There's still a ton of time. You can't really just sit on the ball and just keep punting back to Grove City and keep giving them opportunities. But we'll definitely see it with a Wildcat right now. A nice, healthy mix of run for sure.
And a snap taken. DeRosa over that left side near a first down pickup. He's going to be close. They're waving him through. Big pickup by DeRosa, and they ran the play clock down all the way to 1 second before they called for the snap. So just trying to eat up the clock and continue to move the chains.
And if you could just sit back and run Wildcat and keep your quarterback off the field, that's really, really important because keeping your quarterback healthy, especially now with how much you've seen positively from Kellen Stahl, he's just been able to take over this game. And once you have a facilitator, someone who is good as Kellen Stahl is at facilitating the game, you really need to keep him on the field.
Stahl, wow, the pistol formation. DeRosa has it again over that left side. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play. Stahl, what a performance today. 27 of 40, 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, and ran for a touchdown tonight.
And just the overall performance through the air, on the grounds, and then also being able to make the right reads. And he seems like he had a ton of attempts today, a ton of pass attempts. But sometimes that requires it. Sometimes you need to, with this offense, you need to throw the ball 50 times a game. Because with the playmakers that you have on offense, with the wide receivers that you have, you got to keep them engaged in the ball game.
DeRosa bouncing it outside, finds some room out over the 35-yard line. First down pickup near the 40. Kobe DeRosa continuing to run hard and pick up big gains. That's his 10th carry on the day. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry, and they really saved him until later in this game. I mean, it's been so much more about Sharp, and then he comes in the 3rd quarter and is completely fresh, and he's been beating up on Grove City's defense. They set up 3 wide. Handoff. Sharp leaping over players and finally brought down at the line of scrimmage. Sometimes those can make for real highlights, and other times you're just going to hurt yourself.
And we've seen a couple times Andrew Sharp going airborne, and honestly don't really know where he was trying to go here. And sometimes when you put yourself in the air that long, someone else is flying in ready to hit you pretty hard, and that's what we saw there. And we saw with Coach Sirianni earlier this week, and kind of talked about the running back situation. You see a lot of Andrew Sharp, you see a lot of Kobe DeRosa, and just kind of what's the thought process and who gets the carries. And he said it's kind of just on them, and they sub themselves out when they need a break, and they're always fresh and they're ready to run.
Toss outside, this one to Sharp, out to the 42. So we're looking at a third and what's to be 6 yards here. Clock continues to run. And that's really what W&J wants most. Let this clock grind out, ball possession, keep Grove City from being able to get it back. And even if you do run it here, my guess is that this isn't a terrible spot because you're punting it and will put Grove City deep. Is that right?
Of course, and with the punters, they're able to kind of put it back inside the 20.
Back to pass, looking over the middle, completed, and off to the races he goes. Paduzzi grabbed that ball. He was so strong on receiving that.
And that's called catching with your hands. And you see some younger receivers like to catch with their body off their shoulder pads and just kind of cage the ball inside of their bodies. But Paduzzi and McCoskey, the reason why they're so good at catching the football is because they lead with those hands. And they make sure that they secure the ball and they tuck it right away. And Paduzzi and McCoskey are one of the best hands catchers in the PAC. And there's a reason why they get so many receptions and so many yards is because they're able to snag that ball right out of the air.
Play clock under 5 seconds. Hands it off over the right side. And down inside the 35-yard line. Another good run. This one by Sharp. So this two-headed rushing attack that they have, DeRosa has 10 attempts for 70 yards. He's averaging 7 yards a carry. And then you're looking at Sharp. He's been a workhorse as well. 9 attempts. He's on 21 yards. It seems as though he's really grinding it out and working and softening the defense. And then Kobe DeRosa is able to come in the second half and pick up some big gains.
And Sharp has that receiving touchdown too. So both backs are able to do a lot out of the backfield. And then you even throw Kobe DeRosa in as Wildcat quarterback. And so the versatility that you have in the running back room can really help you out and stall running out of time there, having to take a timeout.
All right.
Timeout, W&J, they're first.
We will take a timeout with them, 34-7. W&J on top of Grove City on JRM Sports.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine, and Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work, to bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
Stay connected with all the action. Follow JRM Sports on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Get the latest highlights, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes moments from your favorite sports. Don't miss a second. Follow us today.
This Friday, the Steelers High School Showcase, presented by Giant Eagle and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, features the South Fayette Lions taking on the Upper St. Clair Panthers. Friday night at 7 on KDKA+.
8:33 to go in the fourth quarter. W&J all over Grove City 34-7. McCosco tonight, 15 receptions, 180 yards, a touchdown. The long was 46, and he loves playing against Grove City. Handoff. Sharp trying to bounce it around the other side, and that goes nowhere. Loss of about 3 on that play. Sometimes you get caught trying to do a little too much.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes when you reverse field and you move backwards at any point, that's kind of one of the big cardinal sins as a running back is when you take negative yards to try and potentially get positive yards. And so sometimes it's just better just to cut your losses and try and plow forward for even no gain.
And this, just a really good drive for W&J. Slow, methodical, moving the chains, keeping the ball away from Grove City, and most importantly, continuing to eat that clock. Wildcat, DeRosa, stuffed at the 35-yard line. And it seems as though W&J is content with that.
And they are, and they go to Wildcat on 3rd and long. So they're at this point where they just know that Grove City is not going to be able to get a lot of opportunities on offense to really catch up. So they're willing to just not give them an easy turnover or force anything down the field and just kind of settle on just rolling the punt team out there.
And the play clock is down to just about 10 seconds, but it looks as though W&J is in no rush to get this play off. Does it look to you as though they're more than willing to take a delay of game penalty here?
And right now they're kind of right out of field goal range, so the field goal wasn't really the option. And if you're going to punt the ball, you really don't
delay
have
game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
You don't have a lot of room to really punt the ball. So sometimes it's easier just to run the play clock all the way down to 0, take the 5-yard delay of game, push yourself back. At least you have more room for your punter to kind of put one inside the 10.
There's an argument, too, on the other side that maybe you don't take the penalty if you're Grove City.
And just decline it. That's definitely something you could do.
Because W&J wants the penalty to give them more room for the punt. Snap, kick, away. And it will be taken at the 10-yard line. And off he goes outside the 20 to about the 23. And that punt return for Grove City, Dominic Danino. And now Grove City with less than 7 minutes to go. And you're down by 4 touchdowns. And now what are you trying to do here? You're just trying to finish on the highest note you can?
And you're going to see something similar to what you saw in the last drive. And you're going to still see them go to DeMary a couple times just to get some positive plays. And right now they take DeMary out of the ball game. So that means they're just going to be throwing the ball around here, seeing if they can get some positivity out of the pass game, which they've really been lacking today.
Ellis, handoff, and a couple-yard pickup. Actually, nope, right back to the line of scrimmage. W&J defense submarining underneath the offensive lineman, able to get a quick stop and a no gain. 2nd and 10. It looks as though Grove City is quite content to let this thing come to its natural conclusion at this point. 15 seconds on the play clock, snaps it, throws, and a quarterback and the wide receiver, just a miscommunication on the routes.
And sometimes, there's 2 different ways you can run the route. And you see this more with fade routes. And you can either run the fade or you can do something called a back shoulder where you kind of stop and the ball's going to lead you to your back shoulder outside towards the sideline. You can kind of stop your vertical route and kind of come back to the ball. But in that case, it just looks like that ball is kind of just thrown behind him on that slant route.
Sutton Ellis back to pass. Throws it deep into coverage. And intercepted. Intercepted by Angelo Volumino. And it looked as though just too much air under that ball again, too.
And at this point, you're just kind of just seeing what you can get deep. And all these guys are bailing. If you're W&J defense, everyone's bailing right back into coverage because they know they're going to throw the ball. And it's just kind of just up for grabs at that point to see if anything could happen. And Angelo Volumino looked like the intended target there instead.
And it was neither one of those choices they had were good choices because the other side of the field, double coverage. And on this side, you had two guys kind of running together, so it brought three defensive backs together. And now W&J looking at being able to grind this thing out. 6:11 to go in the fourth quarter. And Kellenstall, great performance this evening. Looking to wrap things up here. Takes it, hands it off. Over that left side, pickup of a couple. And a nice run there. Luke Edwards. First time we've called his number tonight.
And so now this kind of just sets us up for the rest of the season. And you get a really tough initial matchup if you're Grove City against W&J. And you falter in the very first week of PAC play, but there's a lot of other good teams in this conference. And the likelihood that W&J will be able to coast its way through the rest of the schedule is very, very low. And Westminster, Case Western, all really, really big opponents. So even though you take this loss early to a team that's consistently really good, doesn't mean that you can't crawl your way back into this conference.
Well, let's look ahead a little bit for W&J and the schedule. Next week, October the 4th, they are at Hiram. How do you see that matchup?
So Hiram is a new team in the conference, joining from their previous conference, and definitely a team that's still rebuilding. So W&J, if they play like this, they can beat a lot of these teams on the schedule. But Hiram's definitely one that's going to be a little tough to make competitive there.
And then Westminster, maybe you have bounce outside, and Grove City really able to swarm that one and a pickup of maybe one there. So you have Westminster coming up on the 11th, and then it's at St. Vincent, Waynesburg, Case Western at the 1st of November, and then they wrap up with Geneva and with Teal on the schedule. Can W&J run the table here after they've beaten the number 18 team in the country?
It's definitely making your path a lot easier, but Westminster's a team that a lot of people forget about, and we've seen a lot of these quarterbacks from the past few years with W&J with Jake Pugh and then Logan Pfeiffer with Grove City. Once you lose those guys, it's a big adjustment. You have guys that have been your quarterback for 3, sometimes even 4 years, and then you get somebody new, and it's a lot to really adjust to.
And W&J, Grove City gets it.
And that's just a low snap. Devin Wyatt just trying to get it away, not able to get it quick enough. It just has to eat it. And then just drops it actually in his lap. Puts the ball on the ground. He's lucky that ball wasn't taken from him and just put right in the end zone.
Well, at least this way, Sirianni has something to talk about that he wasn't happy with.
It's the coaching mentality. You're just never satisfied.
Never.
You can never be satisfied.
Never.
If you want to be great,
34-7.
Satisfaction is out of your vocabulary.
4 minutes to go in this contest. Takes it. Hands it off to Mary, looking for some room, and finally taken down at 20. Pickup of about 3 yards.
Then you got another quarterback change. Ethan Wiley coming in the ball game once again for Sutton Ellis. And that's something that you just have to figure out right now.
Officials timeout for an injured defensive player, number 44.
Number 44 for W&J, Joey Lacey, inside linebacker, is down. They'll take a look at him. And then you look at the schedule for Grove City. And coming up next week, October the 4th, they are playing Geneva. And Geneva has really bounced back. They're showing themselves something as Gino DeMarco is wrapping up his career as head coach at Geneva.
And Gino DeMarco, longtime head coach for Geneva. And Grove City really needs a bounce-back game. And unfortunately, they're not getting any easy opponent. Geneva's done a lot better this year than they have in past seasons. They're usually hanging around the 500 mark. But right now, Geneva's looking to push themselves in that top tier of opponents. And Grove City, who's struggling right now against W&J, definitely doesn't get a lighter assignment now with Geneva coming up next week.
Waynesburg coming up on the 11th, and then Allegheny. They'll be playing at Allegheny, and that will be a late afternoon game. The Geneva game, another night game, back-to-back night games. When you were playing, what did you think about night games? Because so oftentimes these games are played in the afternoon at D3 level.
And for Saturday afternoons are just such a different vibe. You wake up, you get your pregame meal. If you're traveling, you got to get on the bus. But a night game, you just have so much longer in the day to kind of get your mind right, get your focus.
DeMary up through the middle, down inside the 5-yard line. Ian DeMary still running hard. First and goal at the 6 for Grove City.
And even if it's 34-7, they're going to give the ball to DeMary right up the middle. And that type of mentality and it shows your team that you're just not willing to give up. And you're consistently taking those hits. You're pushing yourselves into people. And DeMary, even though this game's kind of out of reach, he's still playing like it's 0-0.
Ethan Wiley, pistol formation, fullback in front. Hands it off, trying to follow that fullback inside the 5, continues to plow forward, down to the 2. And so just at this point, can we figure out a way of just pushing the pile a little bit, right?
Exactly, and Grove City's big offensive line doing what they do best and just kind of leaning on the defenders for W&J. And DeMary, once he hits contact, he's always falling forward. And you got a lot of big fullbacks, you got a lot of offensive linemen in tight here. And once again, I'd be shocked if they don't go back to number 39.
Wiley under center. And now a timeout. Isn't this kind of interesting? We're coming up on the 2-minute warning. I'm surprised a little bit that Grove City didn't decide to just take it down to the 2-minute warning before they ran this play. But Sirianni, the game's in hand. But he doesn't want to give up this touchdown, does he?
Of course not.
Next week, high school football. The showcase games, South Fayette, Upper St. Clair. That's a great matchup.
And high school football has been very interesting. Last night, Upper St. Clair played Peters Township. And Peters Township getting the best of them and taking the lead in the section. But South Fayette's also vying for that section title as well. So Upper St. Clair really needs to make sure they don't fall 0-2 in the last 2 weeks. But if they play anything like WJ's playing like that, they'll never go 0-2.
Last night's game with Avonworth and Central Valley. Avonworth they are remarkable at 3A. I think not only the best team in 3A, maybe one of the top 5 teams, even if you put them in 4A in the entire state. So Ethan Wiley under center, takes it, hands it off. And Ian, does he get in? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Grove City. Wait a second, they're calling a touchdown. W&J is furious about this, but they're giving them the 6. They got the 6.
WJ thinks that they caused a fumble before that ball crossed the plane, but the official's not agreeing with them. And once again, there's no replay review here, so it looks like the call on the field just going to stand.
Let's see if this angle shows us anything.
It looks like, I think he got to that plane. He crossed that plane before it came out, but
what's really important to keep in mind is that you don't have to have possession all the way through contact when you're running the ball.
You just need to have that ball and cross that line in order for it to count as a touchdown.
And Grove City gets on the board again, 34-14, cutting this down to a 3-score lead. And Sirianni calls timeout, wants to figure out some way of being able to stop Grove City, not wanting this score to look as any closer than it is at this point, even though when you look at the stat lines, W&J just really dominated this game all the way through.
Well, I think the timeout by W&J was just they might have had not enough people on the field, or they were not the right defense. They were kind of just going to give up that touchdown. They obviously don't want to do that. Being still up a lot, they still need to make sure that they're still doing their assignments. And sometimes it's just better just to call the timeout, regroup, reset. But W&J is still not able to kind of stop this Grove City rush attack. And DeMary kind of gets away with one by fumbling the ball, even though he crossed the line of scrimmage, crossed the plane.
So Sirianni, is he smiling at the end of this game? Does he smile? I mean, because I remember him smiling when they won and they were able to beat CMU.
So it's interesting because, you know, as a coach, you want to make sure that you keep your team even-keeled, level-headed. And
Grove City set for the onside kick. And it was taken by one of the up men, and now W&J has it. Kobe DeRosa gets it at about the 47-yard line of Grove City. So a valiant effort by Grove City to go ahead and try that onside kick. Onside kick's a little bit easier at the collegiate level.
And onside kicks are, like, the odds of you getting one onside recovery is very, very low, let alone multiple in one game. It just doesn't really happen very often. And especially with the new rules that they've had over the last couple of years where you can't put more than 6 guys on one side. They used to be able to just load up as many people on one side as you can and just hopefully it just bounces in your direction. But with those new changes for safety rules that they wanted to make sure that didn't happen anymore. And it kind of limited the effectiveness of the onside kick.
Stahl with Luke Edwards in the pistol. Edwards runs it over the left side and taken down. No gain, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. 34-14. W&J over Grove City on JRM Sports.
A house is just 4 walls, but a home, that's something more. At Your Town Realty, we don't just work here, we live here. We're small by choice, with deep roots and real relationships that go beyond transactions. And because this city means so much to us, we give back, year after year. It's not about being the biggest, it's about being the one that feels like home. Your Town Realty, locally owned, community grown.
Thanks for fixing the door.
I was nervous about that lock.
To your family, you are more than just your income.
What would she do without me? She'd probably have to marry our next door neighbor, Todd.
Well, Todd, I have no feelings for you whatsoever, but I'm going to have to say I do. I can't afford a handyman.
Better get some life insurance.
Although you're irreplaceable, a life insurance policy from GBU Life can provide the financial security your family needs for a secure future. To get started, visit gbu.org.
Miller's Mini Storage has the extra room you need. For more than 3 decades, our storage facility in Elizabeth, PA has offered secure, affordable, and accessible storage solutions. Miller's Mini Storage has you covered. Simply bring a lock and key and keep your items safe at our location. New insulated units are available with dawn to dusk access. Storing with us is easy and convenient. Visit millersministorage.com today and reserve your space. Miller's Mini Storage, your space, your way.
If you need insurance, you need an agency that's sharp. The Sharp Insurance Agency is an independent agency and distinguish themselves by providing face-to-face customer service and reviewing coverage to provide the best possible value for their clients.
Hi, I'm Mike Sharp. Lean on my years of experience in the Pittsburgh area to find you the best insurance coverage, because when insurance companies compete, you win.
The Sharp Insurance Agency. Contact us today to have your personal or business insurance professionally reviewed.
JRM Video Productions, winners of a Regional Emmy Award for live sporting event.
Here we are, 1:58 to go in this game. And Kellen Stahl and Jacob McCosco and the gang just trying to wrap this thing up. Handoff right up the middle. Luke Edwards gets inside the 45-yard line down to the 44. Clock continues.
First timeout, Grove City.
And Grove City deciding, nope, they want to call a timeout.
I feel like
this is an interesting call.
You just have to call the timeout.
What do you mean you have to?
You can't just give up on the game. I don't care what
You're
what
down
score it
3
is.
touchdowns.
Minji,
You
there's
have a
still
minute
there's still a
51 to go.
mathematical possibility that they can win this game.
Mathematical?
Yes. It's never zero. Possibility is never zero. You know what I mean? Unless there's zeros on the clock, there's never a 0% chance they're going to win.
All
So
right.
if you're a coach, right, you can't just hold those timeouts just because you don't feel like keep trying. You know what I mean? It just feels wrong.
Okay.
Unless you're fully giving up. That's just
Because
a
if
sign that you're waving the
You're going to
white
get the
flag.
ball back. I mean, if you can
Yes.
figure out a way of getting
Yeah.
a stop, you're going to get it back at least one more time.
And if they get this first down, then the timeouts don't mean anything. But for right
Okay.
now, the timeouts still mean something enough
Okay.
to call them. You know what I mean? You can't take them home with you.
All right. 3rd down, 7 to go. Man in motion. Stahl takes it, hands it off over the right side and to the 41-yard line, Luke Edwards. And now it
Second
sets up a
charge,
4th
timeout,
down and
Grove City.
one more timeout. So now they get the ball back. They're going to have one timeout. and you don't want to give up.
Never.
And is this more of a statement to your own players that no matter what you're facing, especially with Donato, you don't get caught up in your circumstances, you get caught up in your vision. Stay focused on the vision. And right now, he's still playing the vision.
Of course. And if I'm Coach Donato, I still want to see my offense on the field. And I get it, you're kind of off. You're down by a couple scores, but I want to still get one opportunity still to watch my quarterbacks play. And I think that's still valuable film that you can put on and kind of look at on Monday or this week coming up, because you still don't know who your quarterback's going to be. You had Sutton Ellis, who gets you a touchdown early in the game. He's been off and on. Ethan Wiley played your last series. He also played your first series.
Right.
You still don't really have that figured out. And so if you can give an opportunity to go on the offensive side again, I think it's valuable.
W&J deciding not to punt and trying to get Grove City to jump. And they may just go ahead and take the delay of game. Do they do that, or they call timeout?
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
I mean, if you can get them to jump, you go ahead and do that, right? I mean, that makes sense to at least try that then. I mean, if we're going with trying to all you can all the way to the very end.
Of course, of course. And so now you're setting up your punt team better. They have more room to work with.
Yes.
So it's kind of like there's no risk involved with just at least trying to get them to jump.
Well, there is a little risk involved with the long snap here, based upon that last punt attempt. Nice snap, kick is away. It is high, end over end. It bounces inside the 20 and rolls all the way down to what looks like the 9-yard line.
Coach Sirianni is not happy about something. And right now he just looks fired up. It doesn't matter what the score is. He's still going to coach how he's supposed to coach. But this time the snap looks a little bit better. Devin Wyatt holds on to the ball, is able to deliver a good punt, and you avoid a return.
Yeah, he's walking around over there. Like, he's really angry.
So that kind of
does he know what the score is?
That kind of answers your question. He's not going to be smiling, right?
No, he's not going to be smiling. You talk about coaching hard all the way to the end?
Of course.
Sirianni coaches hard all the way to double zeros or triple zeros. Here comes a snap. Back to pass. Coverage. And not able to make the connection. Trying to reach Breck Peacock, but just not able to do that. Now, 2nd down. And we're under a minute and a half to go. And so is this really good for film? I mean, you realize that W&J is going to play soft. So it isn't as though you're really able to see what could be a real matchup defense, but they continue to try. Back to pass. Nope. Dive play up the middle. And nice run.
Well, we got enough DeMary runs on film, so I don't know if they need to watch that
I don't
again,
think they need more of that.
But I think throwing the ball might be more ideal right now. But
yeah, so they run the ball, under a minute 15 to go. And this is the part that's a little bit confusing. I mean, if you're going to call the timeouts to get the possessions, then you just throw. But 3rd down, here we go. And a handoff. This one, big 1st down pickup. Out over the 25-30, close to the 35-yard line. Nice run. Look at that. And so Grove City continues to have a little bit of life here, and we're under a minute to play. First and 10, 4 wide, 2 and 2. Snap back to pass, looking. Throws it far over the middle and almost intercepted. The precedence. If it wasn't for the fact you have 2 defensive backs run into each other, that's a pick.
And so we got to watch this replay.
Yeah,
because Coach Sirianni,
are you going to tell
once
us
again,
this? Are you going to illustrate this?
is not happy for sure. Because those are the type of picks that you just have to have. That ball is wobbling. It's been up there for a really, really long time. And then you're going to see Coach Sirianni in disgust, throws his headset in. I'm surprised that headset's still in one piece, if I'm being honest, but.
Can't believe what he's seeing. Scrambling and out over the 37-yard line. And the big question now becomes, is that, look at him.
You smiled a little bit. I don't know. There it is.
The smile.
There it is.
That's all you're going to get.
It's more than we're going to get.
A little smile, angry face from him.
Not anymore.
And one last play as time is expiring. The clock will stop here for a few seconds as they respot the ball. And 2-1, and the game is over. 34-14. The Presidents victorious over the Wolverines here in Grove City. And we knew this was going to be a matchup. I mean, we were talking about this before the game. You had the number 18 team in the country, the preseason pick for the President's Athletic Conference. And there was a lot of speculation about, okay, this could be a one-score game, maybe a two-score game. I don't think anybody was expecting that W&J would be able to put on this kind of a performance and then Grove City struggle as much as they did on both sides of the ball.
It kind of all came on the shoulders of Kellen Stahl and what the W&J offense was going to do. They started fast. They got those quick scores. Even though Grove City came out swinging with that first initial run, they were really able to kind of fix things early. And the defense showed up. The defensive line showed up. And then it's been the quarterback play for Kellen Stahl and also the receiving work that Jake McCosco and John Peduzzi all put on today. And they're just two individuals that have really carried this team for a very long time, and they just need a guy to give them the football, and Kellen Stahl definitely did that job today.
You look at the stats, Kellen Stahl, 28 of 41 for 337 yards today. 2 touchdowns through the air, ran for another one. His long throw, 46 yards, only sacked one time. He just seemed to be so composed, so poised, so in control all game long. And Jacob McCosco, I think this man would like to be able to play Grove City every single week because he has outrageous performances every time he's on the field with them. Tonight, 15 receptions, 180 yards, averaging 12 yards a catch. He's just been outstanding, and we are going to name both of them as co-players of the game. And we are going down to the field right now. Damon McDermott with both of them. Damon.
We're live. I'm breaking some rules. We got 2 player of the games here today. We got a great story. Kellen Stahl went into a senior year to be the starting quarterback for Washington Jefferson. Jacob McCosco, 180 yards here tonight. First off, guys, 0-2. Washington Jefferson, not used to that. First time since 1997. You guys weren't even born yet. I was one. What was the message going into this week, and how you guys responded?
You know, our backs were against the wall. We had a bye week to get prepared for this. And, you know, we're both seniors, so, like, I thought a lot of players fed off our intensity in practice this week. You know, we got 8 left. You know, it goes by so fast, but we had a great week of practice, and it showed tonight.
For you waited till your senior year, Kellen, to be the starter. How's this feel to get your first big win? You played really good tonight, no turnovers. How's it feel to get that first win as a senior quarterback?
It feels good. I'm glad it was against Grove City, you know, a packed team, not, you know, Utica or Hamden City, but, you know, it was a big game. Everybody played well, and I wouldn't be able to have done it without the, you know, the linemen and the wide receivers and all.
And going forward now, you're 1-2, but you can kind of guide your way now as maybe this top team in the pack. How do you guys ignore the noise and just get ready for the next week? I know you guys want to make it to the playoffs and win a PAC championship.
You know, we'll celebrate tonight, but we'll be back in the office on Monday, you know, in the film room, and another hard week of practice.
Awesome. Well, first off, you had 180 yards, so you're tired. You get to the locker room. First big win for this guy. Guys, wrap it up. What a night for Washington and Jefferson.
It sure was.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely fantastic night. Once again, Stahl, quarterback rating of 153.4. He lit it up all night long, and McCosco, 180 yards. He gets an ice bath first, right?
Of course. First person better be in the locker room getting a Gatorade after this game.
A lot of celebrating going on in Washington tonight. 34-14. W&J comes to Grove City and dominates a top 20 team in the country. And we can expect some people putting some votes in for W&J to be a top 25 team. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. For Alex and Damon and the entire team, Mangino, you've been listening and watching some of the best of the President's Athletic Conference on JRM Sports.